I'm Jamie, and welcome to Sci-Fi Vision Presents The Wilderness Chose. And tonight we're talking about the 8th episode of Yellowjackets of this season, A Normal Boring Life. And of course, my co-host Scarlet is here. Hello, Scarlet, and everybody
Hello.
else. I'm going to turn my volume up here. As always, I'm going to post the Discord link in the chat. If you haven't joined our Discord, please do, because we have watch parties before we do these streams every week. So I'm getting an error. Dang it. I think I'm going to have to log out and back in if it's not going to let me chat. Hold on one second. Let me try that again and see if something works. Okay, it worked that time. Good. I guess the last time I had to log back out to do that. But anyway, you can join us every Sunday for this show, and then pretty soon Scarlett and I are going to be doing for something else. We don't know yet. We're talking still. But that'll probably be on Thursdays. But anyway, so what did you think of this week's episode? I'm saying tonight because we just watched it.
Wednesday on Thursday.
Yes, we're probably going to do Wednesday, talk about the show Wednesday on Thursdays and confuse everybody. So what did you think about this week's Yellowjackets? Hello?
Oh, I thought it was pretty good. I didn't feel like it was as strong as the last two, but I still liked it a lot.
Yeah, I think the other ones kind of more was happening. This one I was just pissed at Shauna the whole time, I think. Pretty much. Whoops, there we go.
I've always known Shauna's the worst, so it's just those people that were Team Shauna. I don't know if they think Shauna's still great, but maybe she's so bad she's good.
Yeah, I never understood how anybody, like Shauna. Like I've said before, I like the adult version of her because she's funny. But after this episode, I'm kind of like, I don't know. Even that was a bit much for me. You're right, Ken. She's a psycho. That's the thing. She's definitely a psycho. Whoops. I'm pissed at both of them as well. And
do you want me to read a little poem?
Sorry? What? You wrote a poem. Is that what you said?
Did you want me to read you a little poem? I'll have a little poetry corner.
Yeah, sure. I wonder if we have a delay because I feel like I'm saying something and waiting, and then you're saying something. So I think for some reason we're getting a delay.
Is it delayed now?
No, I don't know. I'm just saying, like, every time I say something, like, I'm waiting a couple seconds before you respond. So I'm wondering if for some reason you're delayed from me. I don't know why.
Does it sound delayed now?
Well, I don't know. I'm just saying there's like a space before you talk. I don't
Okay.
know. It might not. Maybe it's just the way we're talking. I don't know. Go ahead and read your poem. Sorry.
It's poetry corner.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. Your terrible manners are a crying shame. You're playing with your food. This ain't some kind of game. Now, if you starve to death, you'll just have yourself to blame. So eat it. Just eat it.
Too bad we can't play a clip of Eat It.
It's from that bard, A. Yankovic.
Yeah, that's why I said it's too bad we can't play a clip of that, but then they'll block the video. So
just eat it, Jamie.
No, but I like Weird Al. So let's see. All City says that Sean is the worst TV villain of all time. I agree. All right, let's see. I'm going to mark a few of these here, and we'll go back to them. All right, so at the beginning of the episode, we get I guess this is a flashback of her having a hallucination. Is that how you took it? Because it ended up switching to the present.
I don't know. I thought she was like sleeping in the car, right?
Yeah, that's why I assume that it's a flashback of after they returned. Just FYI, I just found out it's storming pretty bad here too. I know you said it was storming where you're at too. So
it is storming pretty bad.
Yeah, so if it would start lightning or anything, or lights flickering, we might have to end the show, but hopefully it won't get worse. Sorry, I didn't
Yeah,
mean
I
to
was
interrupt
wondering if
you.
that's why there's a delay.
It might be. It definitely might be. But anyway, yeah, I guess it was a memory of her having a hallucination because it definitely showed her after in the car. But I almost
Mhm.
wondered if it was possible that it was her imagining her life after and that this happened when they were on in the wilderness until they showed her in the car because since everybody else was like hallucinating about being back, like with the toilet paper and
Um,
the Slurpee and everything. But yes, wilderness
mhm.
better not want me, Doc. Um, but yeah, I assume it was a memory. But I know that we've said before that like she has contacts to match the adult Shauna, but I never realized how dark it makes her eyes. They look really creepy when you see a close up of that, you know.
Yeah, yeah, agreed. Yeah.
So, assuming this is really a memory, she's working at the grocery store. She didn't, I mean, we kind of know that her life wasn't maybe what she expected it to be when she got back because we had talked before about how there was the whole scene with her at Jackie's parents when she was with Jeff saying that she had wanted, I think, to go to college and things and never got to because I don't know if it was because she got pregnant. I can't remember, but it never turned out the way that she expected. So she's uh
Mhm.
working at the grocery store and she sees Jackie and let's
Yeah, I
see.
noticed that Jackie. Oh,
No, go ahead. Sorry. If we're talking weird, I
I
think it is
noticed that.
the delay.
Okay. Um, I noticed that Jackie here is wearing the colors that she talked about designing their dorm room when she talked to Shauna and the pilot about going to the same college.
Huh. I did not remember
This
that.
pink and green, the sage and this pink. And I thought that was interesting that she was in those colors.
Yeah, that's definitely interesting. I didn't know. I didn't remember that. You remember a lot of details I wouldn't. So
They also kind of Karened her up. I'm sorry, Karen, if you're listening.
you're kind of what?
Karened her up. And I know you have a co-host named Karen, but I mean the stereotype of Karen.
Oh, yeah, yeah. They kind of did. Yeah, she's kind of being a little. She seems like she maybe is being a little, going to be a little bitchy, but yeah. So we see all these meats she's checking out, and they're actually human body parts. And is also we had talked about this. There's boxes of hot chocolate there.
Mr.
Um,
Moo.
Mr. Moo. So is this just a reference to how she died, or is this mean maybe Mari's gonna die because she had hot chocolate? We've kind of
Yeah,
talked about this before.
I thought this was interesting because everybody like people have told me like a lot in the first season that when Jackie gets a hot chocolate and sees Kevin Daddy when she's having kind of like a death dream, it's her dream. But
Yeah.
after she has that dream, Shauna wakes up, and I always thought it was Shauna's dream. And the Coco in this dream makes me think that the Coco in Jackie's dream, I mean, the one that people think is Jackie's dream, is actually Shauna's dream.
It's definitely possible. But the other thing that I think is interesting here too is that Jackie tells her when they ask what she's doing there, and that she does say that she's dead, that Shauna killed her. I don't know if that's just representing that like Shauna blames herself or if there's more to it. I mean, we know how she died. Clearly, it wasn't really Shauna's fault, but I mean, that would be my guess is that she blames herself for it. Um, but she does stick up, even though it's not real. She finally
Hmm.
sticks up for herself and tells her not to call her Shipman. And she's like, "Since when?" And she's like, since always." But she never
Yeah.
said anything. So she's finally,
Hmm.
standing up to her a bit. And then she sees the lights up above. She hears a noise, and there are these moths up in the light. And according to I think in YouTube his name's Boba Fett in here, but he was in the chat and he was saying these are he's right because I looked it up. I didn't know what they were called, but I can't even say it.
Death has
Head's moth. Yeah.
Death's
And
head moth.
they look like they have little
Silence the
skulls.
lambs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes, exactly. The Silence of the
Silence
Lamb
the
moth.
lambs. Yeah.
Which also I didn't even think of till you said that, though, the whole cannibal thing. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Reference being for Hannibal. But
Yeah.
they also have little skulls on their back, or at least it looks like little human skulls. And
Mhm.
I don't know if they're supposed to represent the Yellowjackets or if there's anything other than just they're creepy and, like you said, Hannibal. Hi, Julie. I see Julie's here. Thanks for dropping by. Thanks everybody for coming in. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
But I don't know. She says they're drawn to the light. They should have known better. Do you think that that means anything? Or do you think, I mean, I don't know. I just kind of wondered if it was kind of like her saying that, the other ones want to do the right thing and that
Mhm.
Shauna's kind of the dark side right now, I guess, for
She
lack
wants
of a,
the darkness to set her free, like in season 1.
yeah.
She's like, "Oh, they're heading towards the light. That's bad. Heading towards your true dark self is the best. Go, Shauna.
Yeah. So I don't know if that's the
Go
point.
stab that girl, Shauna."
Yeah, right. Wait 1 second. I remembered when you typed that, or when that was typed, I should put that in Discord that we started.
Yeah.
So then after this is when she wakes up in the car, and she is at Alex's. This is where it picked up from before, and she picks up the knife and sticks it in her
Yeah.
sleeve. And
So
I thought it would be funny if she
apparently
cut
she was
herself.
just asleep. Sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Apparently she doesn't sleep in this car all night.
I guess, or either that, or maybe she was just really tired. They'd been driving a while,
Yeah.
but yeah, she definitely
I
had
put
had
this
a dream slash memory slash hallucination, whatever you want to call it.
I put this knife up her sleeve. I just was thinking she was gonna stab her arm accidentally.
Yeah, that's what I kept thinking and hoping that, kind of hoping that would happen. It would have been funny. Um, sorry, Mark in the chat here. But yeah, I kind of wondered that too. It was odd. That's a really big knife to be putting up your sleeve, but it's Shauna. So she sneaks into Alex's house and she hides well, first she sees the drawings. I don't know. I took a picture of that because it made me think of the From drawings. So I had to take a screen capture of some of the drawings.
Yeah.
And the
Well,
girl's name is Lila, the daughter.
mhm.
Um, so yeah,
Does
she
scanning the pictures for any cannibalism or any drawings from the child, kind of like Sammy would get like those
yeah.
vibes.
Right now it just looks like happy things. I don't really see.
A normal, boring, happy child picture. How strange. In the
Yeah,
shows we watch.
yeah. Well, hey, they don't know, or she doesn't know yet about what's up with Shauna. But so she comes in and she looks around and then she hides in the closet because um Alex comes in with her mother, or her daughter, like I said, Lila. And then hold on, I gotta move my picture. I can't see my
Yeah,
my
this
little.
has real like Blue Velvet vibes. Have you ever seen Blue Velvet?
No, I haven't. They hide in a closet.
Yeah, Kyle MacLachlan hides in the closet with these same kind of, where you can see out these vents.
Oh yeah, they've done that in a lot of things, but yeah,
Yeah.
watching now. I mean, they kind of spoiled it in the captions. I know because I had on the captions when I first watched this, and it's like if you didn't already guess that it was Melissa, you figured it out because it had Melissa
Or
as
you
talking.
figured out the first time you saw her, she had a backwards baseball
Yeah,
cap
I
on,
mean,
and
I
you're
think
like,
most people probably knew it was Melissa, but I'm just saying it was in the captions. But it's Alex and Melissa and their daughter. I don't know whether it's Alex's daughter or it's an adoptive daughter. I mean, we don't know, but it's their
I
daughter.
think it's Melissa's daughter
Or yeah, it could be Melissa's
from
daughter
the
too. I
dialogue.
mean, either way, it's really their daughter, so it doesn't
Yeah.
matter. Let's see. I just saw Jen Savet about the moths. Whoops. They're commonly observed raiding beehives of different species of honeybee. They can mimic the scent to get inside and destroy it. Like Shauna in this episode. That is very interesting. I hadn't gotten a chance to research them other than I looked them up and saw the way they looked and remembered like I'd seen them before. But that's really cool. That yeah, it's interesting when you find connections to other stuff with Yellowjackets in it.
Yeah, but then the Yellowjackets themselves also invade beehives.
Yeah, that's true.
They
That's
don't
true.
make honey themselves, but they'll take over a beehive.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying I'm not sure if the moths represented the other yellow jackets or if they could have represented Shauna. But that's definitely an interesting
Yeah.
factoid there.
Well,
Um, Maggie
Shauna
says,
likes to burn down the hive, So
yeah,
there's
right,
that.
yeah, true. Mackie says Shauna's trash for falling asleep on the stakeout. She said, "Now I'm going to do it at night. I'm waiting for broad daylight."
I like how you wrote steak out like steak too. Eat it.
That's great. Yeah. And yeah,
I mean,
I don't know.
tell me you're full.
I think it was the night before, so that was kind of dumb that she waited until there was somebody there too. Like if she had waited till they went to sleep, she could have snuck in earlier. But no, let me wait till daytime when everybody's awake and they'll catch me.
It's when
You
the
know?
action is.
Yeah.
Shauna wants action.
It's yeah, that's Shauna for you. Let's see. Jen thinks the moth represents Shauna.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only reason I thought maybe the Yellow Jackets was because of the whole they're moving into the light comment. Because Shauna
Hmm.
definitely is not, attracted to the light. Unless
Hmm.
by light it means like Jeff and Callie. And she's kind of saying you should have known better because that's not going to go well. That's a
Hmm.
possibility.
Her boring
Uh,
life.
yeah, our boring life. And yes, they should have played Weird Al. I totally agree. Uh,
In my heart of hearts, I think I'm gonna go in there and make my own edit with eat it at the end.
yeah, that'd be awesome. Although it might block you I was gonna say, if you try to put it on YouTube, it'll probably block you.
No,
Uh,
for my own personal collection, Jamie.
oh, okay, okay. Well, that works too. That works too.
So I put
Um,
extended scenes of Joe McHale, but they're all like card sharks and other things he's been in.
yeah, you need to make a clip thing there.
We need more
Um,
Joe McHale one-liners on the same.
yeah, Big Heck. I don't know if I should say All City or Big Heck says that we need that edit. So yeah, you need to try to make it and put it in Discord at least.
Yeah, even when
And
they're fighting, it should be going on in the background.
yeah, it should. Yeah, especially when they're fighting at the end of the episode. Jen says she thinks the light is the rescue and she's attracted to destroying it. That's a good point. That makes sense. And I'm sorry, guys, if I'm going slow. I'm getting dizzy and because I'm not feeling real great. And
Oh,
I'm having a hard
we're going okay.
time. Okay, no, I just feel like I'm reading everything slow. Maybe I'm not, but it feels like I
No,
am.
you're not. We're fine.
Okay, well, feels good.
Still.
So anyway, it's Alex and Melissa and their daughter, and they're telling each other goodbye. And you can tell from the conversation that they're married.
Mm.
And also that there's Alex there. That was the best picture I could get.
That's a good
Alex,
one.
yeah, Alex calls her Kelly, which is the
Hmm.
other thing. Here, give me 1 second. I meant to, well, I'll see it when we get there. Never mind. Okay, so I lost where we're at. Okay, so she grabs a knife, she turns toward the closet, and she says, "Whoever's there better come out because they don't know whose house they walked into." And Shauna's like, "Actually, I do." Melissa, and she, knows she's Kelly now, and asks what she's doing alive. And okay, that's the wrong one.
Credits.
Delete it. I took a couple extra pictures of the credits, so ignore the extra ones. But this is
Okay,
what
so I have a question for the chat here. Why isn't Lauren Ambrose in this credit sequence? She's in all the other credit sequence in the same spot this whole season. She used to morph from young Teen Jen here into Lauren Ambrose, and now Lauren Ambrose is replaced by a pair of shoes or boots.
Yeah, I had. That's why I said I had the wrong pair of shoes. That was from a different thing. This is the one that it's replaced with. I
Yeah.
thought, and maybe I'm wrong, but I thought that was Van in the hospital gown when she went to talk to the adult Van. But I mean, I don't know. That's what it made me think of. It's kind of hard to tell because it's so blurry. But yeah, I don't know if that means anything or not. I agree with Mackie. I hope that it doesn't mean she's gone.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, if that's is really the only scene that's different, it does seem like it was intentional. So
Is that Teen Van's legs, you think, from that scene?
I think so, but I mean, again, I'm just guessing. But the reason why I say that too is it kind of the way it's like screwed up at the top with the static. It kind of
Yeah.
looks like she has a skirt on and nobody there. Well, a couple, I guess Jen wears a skirt, but
Yeah, Murray has that kind of pit girl outfit she likes to wear.
yeah. But I just figured it was it could be the hospital gown. That's why. Considering they removed Van, I mean, I could be completely wrong, but that's what it made me think of. I don't remember what her legs looked like in that scene. I would have to go back. But let's see. I lost. Okay. Okay, hold on. I'm trying to go back to the beginning of her comment. Jen says Shauna looks so surprised that Melissa is normal and has a normal life. It's like Shauna builds up anger towards Melissa for making it and being successful. I agree. I think
For
that's
going to
why
college.
she's so mad, for going to college, for having a family that cares about her, for being normal. I think that's what she wanted and couldn't get it. So she's pissed at her for that.
Yeah, like she looks so confused when like younger Melissa's talking about, I want to do everything. I want to see everything. I want to go to college.
Yeah.
Like Shauna can't understand why she would want to do those things.
Yeah. I mean, Shauna at that point's already broken. But she's not, you're right. She's not even talking about doing those things. Fletcher said, we don't know if Melissa was the one that actually killed Hannah. If so, she's as psycho as Shauna to kill Hannah and later on have a life with her daughter. Yeah, I don't think we have any information to know who killed Hannah yet. I mean, to be fair, we're also going by the fact they said that they killed Hannah. Shauna does say that in this episode, but I mean, they also said that Melissa was dead. So
yeah, I know. It'd be really great if both like Jen and Hannah show up.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
So unreliable, everyone.
Yeah, yeah. I like this comment though here where she tells Melissa to put the knife down. She's like, "Yeah, that sounds like a great idea for me." But, it's like, if you're gonna hold a knife, I'm gonna hold a knife. And she says, "Let's act like sane adults and put them down." I don't think Shauna knows what a sane adult is. And she does ask her if marrying the daughter of the woman they killed, that's where she says it right there, that they killed Hannah, and changing her name, if that makes her sane. And she's like, a lot's happened in 25 years. Let's just both keep our knives. I think that's probably the best course of action for the two of them.
This really feels like a Quentin Tarantino scene.
Yeah, it's I like the way that they shot it. And you can see too, those Scrabble tiles on the wall does show that it has that girl's name, Lila. That was where I
there's a little growth chart. There's a little growth chart too with leaves on it. A tree. Woo.
Yeah, tree.
You hear the wilderness.
Yeah, the wilderness. You never know. So meanwhile, Misty's trying to call Shauna and is pissed off, leaving her a message telling her she better come back to the hospital. So I did get a picture of that. And then the doctor comes up and tells Ty that they can't do anything else for Van, and she can't quite accept what's going on. And at first she's like, well, should I take her to a different hospital? But she says that no, that there's nothing they can do and it's time to think about a hospice. But she won't accept it, and she says she'll give her the papers for release. And Misty's shocked, too, and telling her that she's sorry. And then Ty just says they're going to go find the palliative care unit, which doesn't make sense since she just told this doctor that she wouldn't put her in there. But we find out later why she said that. But Misty follows her.
And there's not enough like Misty Ty scenes when I watch them together. They hardly have any scenes together, these two actresses.
Yeah, it's nice that they had these together. You're right. It's a different pairing. I took a picture of this though because I thought it was funny that it says about. Now, granted, it says towards the hospital, but it's like violence. It has this sign about like no violence in the hospital. All right, so back in the present, or not the present, the past rather. Misty's looking for her glasses, and I think I have way too many of these because I've taken it for the.
Yeah. This kind of reminded me of Piggy and Lord of the Flies.
Yeah, I had read that too. It has been so long since I read that book, but I guess his glasses had cracked too, and it represented like their descent into madness or whatever. So definitely, I think parallels them here. She's lucky she at least found her glasses. Yeah. I don't know how they got cracked.
I'm actually surprised they haven't started fires with her glasses, because you can do that.
Yeah. Well, they haven't really seem to have trouble making fires. I mean, they've never
Yeah.
mentioned it anyway, which is actually funny because that's something that is not, I don't think, very easy to do.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. They never did. I just want to put part of this is sort of about before, or about later, but
Yeah.
Jen says that Melissa giving Shauna the knife in the wilderness was when they were young, and Shauna has it now in the present. I don't think it's the same knife, but
It's
it
not.
is the same. It might be the same sheath. It probably is the way that they switch from shown.
It didn't
one to
seem.
the
It looked like something with a price tag on it that she had bought.
Yeah,
But
I
I
assumed the
forgot
knife
when.
was. The sheath I thought could have been the one that Melissa.
Oh well, the sheath was so I had the price tag on it.
Oh, was it?
It has
Okay.
like this bright orange price tag.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, because she stopped at the store to get something.
A
I don't know.
knife.
Big Hex thinks it's the same sheath, but I do remember there was a price tag. So I don't know. I'd have to go back and look at it. Let me see. I don't think, how far back is that? That's like really far back to find. I was gonna try to find where the heck I had
Yeah,
that.
you can find it. We
Yeah.
got time.
No, I was trying to see if my picture shows. The picture doesn't show that I have because I think the picture was from the episode before
Oh yeah.
when it was on the seat. That's why I'm looking to
Hmm.
see if I have it.
Yeah.
Give me a second. Why is that not the right? Last week was 307, right? Oh,
Could
okay. There, my
be.
picture was showing up. It was only showing
It's
a
been a
couple.
long week.
No, I was just trying to figure out why it was only showing a couple of my pictures. Like it was missing
Yeah.
them, and I couldn't figure out why.
I might have
I
to.
did
I
not.
might have to talk about insects because I mean, I didn't really talk about the apples and the worm food and then the moths. I mean, maybe we'll talk about that after it's done.
Yeah. The picture is so dark, it's not really going to show anybody, but it does look like a new sheath she bought. It's got metal on it and everything, and it has a price tag. So I would say it might not be. It would be interesting if it was, but I don't think it is the one she gave her. All right.
She didn't love Melissa.
Yeah, she didn't love her that much, I guess, right?
Yeah.
So she then sees something. She's happy she got her glasses and she sees
Yeah.
something. Yeah. So meanwhile, whoops, wait. I know there's a bunch of no, it's okay. That was a good idea, Jen. I wish it had been. That would have been more interesting, but maybe that's the point that she didn't keep it. I mean, maybe that's what they want you to see. She didn't care enough to keep it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like Shauna is somebody who would have kept it if she cared enough.
Yeah. Well, I don't know because when they were doing the blackmail scheme and she was putting money in a bag and she just took the bag that Callie had made when she was 6 and she said, "Oh, Jeff's sentimental." Like she didn't really care that she had this bag that Callie made.
That's true.
I don't
But
think
I
she's
guess,
a sentimentalist.
yeah, then maybe it's just showing she's not sentimental, not necessarily that she's not sentimental with her. So meanwhile, Cody takes Travis and Aquila through part of the hike to the pickup point. And he makes his comment. He says, "It's a rough hike. I hope you're prepared to walk that far." And I'm like thinking, dude, these guys survived in the wilderness by themselves for how many months? And you're worried about a little hike. I thought that was funny.
Hey, I was excited for every line that Joe McHale had. I thought he was horribly underused in this episode.
Yes, no, I agree. He was. Did you see? And we won't talk about it for people who hadn't what happens. But did you see the trailer for next week? There was an unlisted trailer, and I
don't watch the trailers because I like being surprised.
Oh, okay. Well, I was just gonna say there were some good lines by him. That doesn't spoil anything.
I mean, if you want to talk about it at the end, then I could just mute my mic and run upstairs.
Oh, it's okay. It's not a huge deal, and it isn't actually, I guess, public. I don't know. It was an unlisted one. I apologize. Somebody in the chat found the link because I couldn't find it. I've seen it elsewhere, but it actually looks like it was the beginning of the episode. Like somebody had shown part of it. But it was on the official Yellowjackets YouTube, so I don't think it was like somebody who took the screener or something. I'm not sure about that. But anyway.
Yeah, they've been interesting what they've been showing, like little snippets of scenes and things.
Yeah. I wish they'd release more though. But at the same time,
I wish they release less.
Release less. I was gonna say at the same time, I kind of get it. I know some people like them, sometimes some people don't.
Because this season. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
This season's really surprised me in like so many ways, from like talking llamas to, you know, like reveals I didn't even think would happen, and this thing at the end of the episode. I mean, it's just I don't want to know anything. I want to be surprised. I'm
No,
here.
I
I'm here
I
for this
totally get
ride.
that. I totally get that. I usually look up stuff though. I've always been the person that wants to know. So,
Yeah.
but I know people are different. So the three of them are in the woods walking, and Travis says that they're going to go with him and that they can send back rescue, which I think is the smartest thing anybody has said on this show in a while. Like, go while you can,
Mm-hmm.
right? And
Yep.
Akila's like, but we should all be here together. Ben was supposed to be our way home. And
Yeah.
speaking of that, I wanted to ask you. I was trying to remember exactly what happened in her dream of the three-eyed bear. I mean, I think
Mhm.
it's pretty obvious that that dream was probably representing Kodiak. I mean, we've mentioned that.
Or the three eyes or the three froggers. Well, I mean the two froggers in the guide.
Yeah, it could be. But the bear didn't do anything, did it? Like, it just showed the bear, right?
Yeah, but
Okay.
Kodiak bear makes a lot of sense to
No,
me.
no, I was just trying to remember exactly what happened in the vision, because you would think maybe she'd be like, "Well, that's why I had this vision." But then again, she probably doesn't know his name's Kodiak. Um, but
Yes.
Travis says to her, he finally tells her the truth that she needed to hear, and says,
Hmm.
no, you had a screwed up dream because you were huffing cave fumes the same way I tripped balls on
For
mushrooms, and Lottie
reals.
told, yeah, and he's like, the same way I tripped balls on mushrooms, and Lottie told me what I was seeing. It's like, you're not a prophet. I didn't pick you because you are. I made it up, and none of it's real.
Hmm.
And but we can get home, and that's real. And she does seem to agree with him at this point. I don't know if she really believes him, or it's
No, she
just.
don't.
Oh, I was gonna say maybe she believes him right now until she has the other vision. Then I
Mm.
don't think that she did. But at least this point, she says she does.
No, the
And
other vision's later. I don't think she believes him right now. That's why she's leaving those strands of her shawl around.
oh no, I don't think she believes that they should go back. But yeah, I guess that's right. If she didn't believe the vision, she probably wouldn't be leaving them. But she's leaving her pieces of her sweater for
Hmm.
I had too many pictures here for somebody.
I was kind of glad that Travis did this move, because I was like, Travis is totally going to do this move. I
Yeah,
would.
yeah, I would too. I'd be like, screw them. I'm going home. I mean,
Yeah, I
send
mean,
back help, but
yeah, you can send help back, you
yeah,
know.
like, cause like you never know what's gonna happen. Get back while you can, especially when you live with all those totally insane girls. It's like, get
Hmm.
the frick
Yeah,
away from me.
Travis has just had it.
Yeah, he's totally done with it.
He's like, save me, Joe McHale.
Yeah. So Misty finds the piece of her sweater and decides she's gonna follow it. And then all the girls are crowding around Hannah. And this is the best line when Van says, "Did Mulder and Scully get together?" After everybody's asking what happened, what day it is, how did they get out of there? She's like
I figured
asking.
that was your favorite line from
Yeah,
the
yeah,
episode.
that was great.
Yeah, it's
And of
good.
course, as I had said to you before when I mentioned it, that Lauren Ambrose is in the newer X Files. So is Joel McHale, for that matter. But
Oh yeah.
so yeah, that makes it even funnier that Van said it. But let's see. Natalie yells at them all to shut up, and she asks Hannah about why they're there, and she tells them about them studying frogs. And Shauna, oops. And then Shauna wants to know what people are saying about them back home. And she doesn't know at first who they are, but once Natalie starts explaining who they are, I don't know if I'm too far ahead on the pictures. Natalie starts telling them who they are, that they were in the plane crash. And she remembers it, and she says it was all over the news.
Is it before she after she asks is if Natalie's her captain or
This is
Shauna is?
this is before that. Um,
Okay.
yeah, this is before that. Ty
All right.
asks, no, it's okay. She says it was all over the news, and Ty asks if anybody's still searching for them, and she says she doesn't know, but they searched for months. And Shauna gets upset, saying, why are you saying our friends and family gave up on us? The thing is, which she doesn't know, but the fact is if she's not from that area, I'm sure they covered it when they first went missing, but it wouldn't have
Yeah.
continued been on the news months later if they didn't find them, especially because this is 19 whatever it is 90. whatever. So,
Mhm.
yeah,
But
she would have
it's
no reason
also
to know that.
weird because isn't she from a university also in New Jersey and Keene University?
Yeah, I think it was in New Jersey.
Why does the wilderness want people from New Jersey?
I don't know.
Are they trying to get the boss there? Are they trying to get Bon Jovi there?
Yeah, maybe.
I mean,
Doc.
I just wrote in my notes that the outside world doesn't care about you, Yellowjackets. You are all awful.
Yeah, they I don't know that they should be rescued, right?
Your
But
friends and family never cared about you.
no, but to be fair, I don't think that they would continually have it on the news months later and like national news at least about what happened. And I
Mhm.
understand she wouldn't necessarily know. That doesn't mean their families quit looking for them. But of course, Shauna takes it to heart and gets
Mhm.
upset like she does about
They might
everything.
have done a little like rehash of the 1 year anniversary. They do that sometimes when
Yeah, they
planes
might have.
crash and like
If it's well, how long were they? Remind me again. You know more than I do the details. They're going a total of how many months? I was thinking 13, but that must not
19
be right.
months.
19 months. Okay, so yeah, it would have
They're on
passed.
roughly on the 16th month
Okay, so they're
of
definitely
19.
past the year then. So yeah, they should have had the 1 year anniversary. But again, if you're not related to the people that were in the crash, I don't know that you would necessarily think about it a year later unless you happen to see that special about the 1 year anniversary. Fletch says the story would have been a lot different if Misty had lost or broken her glasses as soon as the plane crashed. I agree. Yeah, they have to. That'd be a bad thing
Yeah,
if you lost your glasses. Like I commented later, like somebody took Edwin's glasses. I don't know if they took them to have them in case they needed them or something. I don't know,
to
but
start fires with them.
yeah, you could. But they're missing. I just noticed they're missing because I knew something looked different about them and I couldn't figure out what it was.
I thought it was
Until glasses.
interesting and I thought it was interesting a whole group of people that only one person wore glasses. Like
Yeah.
none of the other girls wore contacts or anything. Contacts would be horrible in the wilderness.
Yeah, that's what I always think about when I watch these shows is like how would I survive because I mean I granted I do have a pair of glasses, but I can't wear them. I wear contacts because I get
Hmm.
migraines from them. So like
Yeah.
I never wear my glasses. I wear my contacts until I go to bed and I'm like thinking I'd be like screwed. Either you're blind or you wear glasses. You don't got a choice. And you hope you brought them with
Hmm.
you, I guess. But
I guess the question would be how did people survive without the glasses? I guess they just got along as best they could.
yeah, well, I mean, and it's not like a long time ago in the past, people didn't have glasses. They learned to do without them. But yeah, it would suck. And you would have
Hmm.
headaches all the time and you wouldn't be able to see well. But hopefully you're
Hmm.
not so blind that you couldn't see without them. But yeah, I always think about that. But I do always take my glasses just in case somewhere. You never know. I hope that never happens to me, but you never
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
Doc, go watch the end of X Files. Sheila said
Is
that
he in the
Hannah worked.
finale?
Sorry, what?
Is Joe McHale in the finale of X-Files?
No, he wasn't. Well, no, he wasn't in the finale. He was in the beginning of. I'm trying to
Um,
remember. I think it was in My Struggle. It was in the beginning of one of the newer shows. I think it was just the beginning of that plot line. It might have been towards the end. It's been forever since I haven't seen the newer series as much as I
yeah,
have the.
I don't know if I ever finished X-Files. I kind of tapered off towards the end.
Oh, well, you should. But I mean, if it was the original series, I probably could tell you every detail about it. But I haven't seen the new one as many times to
Yeah, I
remember
haven't either.
exactly. But yeah, go watch it. Sheila says that Hannah works for that it is Keene is in New Jersey, the college she
Yeah,
works for.
it just seems strange.
Yeah, it does. It does. I mean, it's all
Conspiracy.
Northeast, but still, yeah. Um, it's much as to be fair, it's a soccer team. To be part of a soccer team, you mostly don't use glasses. Misty is the one
Hmm.
that uses glasses. She's also the one that's part of the soccer team. Yeah, but people would still have contacts. I mean, you're right. You wouldn't
Yeah,
necessarily
or they
wear
wouldn't be
glasses.
wearing that. They wouldn't be wearing anything while they're playing, but then they put on their glasses afterwards. And none of these actresses have glasses that they
Yeah.
put on afterwards.
Yeah, I was gonna say the glasses, if they have them, are probably props anyway. But yeah, people would
Yeah,
still have contacts and they could play. And yeah, maybe it's the Jersey Devil. That's X Files
it
related. No,
always
I'm
reminds
just
me of
laughing because of
it
X
always
Files.
reminds me of what we do in the shadows. If anybody's seen the
Yeah, yeah,
Jersey
you
Devil, and
last time. Um, So Shauna, when she says she doesn't know, Shauna says she doesn't seem to know a lot of things. And that's when she asks if Sean is the team captain. And I lost, where is that? Okay, Natalie's like, no, but Sean is like, neither are you. And the captain's
It's like,
like, yeah,
because she's fucking dead.
yeah, yeah. But
Nat
she
has some really
starts,
good lines in this. Like Nat and Van
she
are really
does,
strong in
she
this
does.
episode.
She's standing up against Shauna. She should have
Yeah.
stood up against her a little stronger. But Hannah asks if they built this everything there themselves, and she says it's impressive.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's pretty clear that she is trying to ingratiate herself with them, trying to get on their side, which I think is really smart because she's going to need to do that. And this is when Natalie asks if she can help him out, and she says she can't without Cody. And then this is when Misty runs over and says that she found them, and she tells them that Cody was their guide. And so Shauna tells Ty to watch Hannah and Lottie. See, I'm a little bit behind on the pictures here. There, she tells her to stay with her, and the rest of them go off after oh, sorry.
Kodiak and Travis and Aquila.
Yes, Kodiak and Travis and Aquila. I totally lost it there. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't know what Lottie was doing. I guess she was just communing with the wilderness or whatever she was doing.
Lottie is so insane in this episode. It's like, or these last two episodes.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to know what she's doing. But Jeff and Kelly are at the restaurant, and I didn't mark down, not that it was important. I thought maybe it was going to be something important than what was on the TV, but it was just a tennis match. I don't know that means anything unless you talk about, the different sides going back and forth. But he's saying that it was good they left the room, and then he sees the Joels, or Joel, I should say, not because they're not actually both named Joel, but he sees them at the restaurant, and he tells her this is the first of two times, and I marked this down, that they mentioned Shauna and fire, because he says that it was the work dinner he had with them that her mother torched. The fact that they say about fire twice in relation to Shauna in this episode makes me wonder if it's hinting that Shauna actually burned down the cabin or was connected to burning down the cabin, even if she didn't necessarily.
I think it could have been also a Shauna, Dark, or other Ty team up.
Yeah, could have been. But I don't know. I just noticed that the wording they used twice in this episode was about that, so it made me wonder. But
yeah, you know what I like. Also, I think Warren Cole really shines in this episode too. He has some really good. I mean, he like does eats and he's seen he's in.
Yeah, he does. He's really good in this scene. He goes over to talk to them when they call him over, and he goes through this whole thing of some people call people over and other people are the ones go over. It's like this really long.
Poor Jeff.
Yeah, but when he goes over, he finally, that's when they see him, they wave him over. When there they are. When he comes over, he's like, we're on a staycation, and they think that that Callie's his girlfriend or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, that's my daughter. And they're like, oh, really? Okay. Sorry. Yeah. But he's trying to get them to go with his store again. And he's saying, he says something about that it was Shauna, not him. He wants to try again. And they say they're going in a different direction. And it's with this guy from FurnitureFam.net, which
it's the enemy.
Yeah, the enemy. But I tried it. It doesn't work, unfortunately.
Well, he also mentioned this in season 1 as well.
Oh, yeah. Well,
his furniture was made by hand and it was really good and solid, not like FurnitureFam.net.
Yeah. So they tell him no, basically. They're like, they had asked that guy to come there to talk to him. So he walks away finally when that guy shows up. There's the Furniture Fam guy. Misty calls him.
But I had okay, let me look at my notes before we go on the next one.
No, go ahead.
No, I like it that because he said, okay, let me go through all my notes. I said that Jeff and Callie realizing Shauna's the worst. We mentioned Furniture Fam. And then Jeff says, what's Shauna done now? And then when they get back to the table, Callie puts her phone down and pays attention to Jeff. So she's giving him her full attention. So I feel Callie is sympathetic. and not evil like everybody's saying.
Even not evil like I'm saying,
She
huh?
loves her dad
No, I do believe she loves her dad.
to the point she put her phone down for him.
She did, and she normally probably wouldn't do that. Um, let's see. Forever Autumn says the Joels are popping up a lot. Will Dark Tide kill them? That'd be kind of funny twist. That would be funny if they were the
Maybe Kelly will kill them. Maybe people will prove me correct that she's a serial killer.
Yeah, who knows? But yeah, I agree when I hadn't gotten to that part yet, but when he says, "What's Shauna done now?" Like he automatically assumes Shauna did something.
He just had
Um,
it, you know.
Yeah. Well, he has a good reason for that. But anyway, she asked him where Shauna was the day she died, and he's like, "We were with you at bingo. Do you not remember this?" I hadn't even thought about the fact that they were all together that day, but obviously she left after that because she went to go get the cat. So it wasn't the whole day, but
So do you think that scratch is from the cat on his hand? Because we were bringing that up when we were messaging.
Yeah, I was bringing that up, and I was going to bring it up when we get to the end. I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, it does look like pretty small scratches for a person, but it's just pretty obvious to me that they were showing his hand later and saying, "Look at these scratches," which is why I wondered if it was possible it was Lottie. I don't know that he would have a reason to kill her. The only thing that I can think is that maybe Callie was with Lottie and something happened and Jeff intervened trying to save Callie, maybe.
Well, that's complicated.
It is complicated. But I also noticed, or not noticed, but I think it was you that said something to me about her. Was it you that said about her scratching the wall? I don't understand that there's scratch marks on the wall from her, and like nobody noticed that except for Misty and investigated that, because that to me,
I think it's
like she didn't commit suicide or didn't fall or whatever.
Yeah, I feel like the cops around are just not really good.
That is true.
Or paid off easy, with, you know.
Or it does
like
sound like her
Saracusa.
father maybe paid him off. But either way.
Oh yeah, but that was also her dad too, like Mr. Matthews. He was saying he needed to look like it's an accident. You know, he was saying that.
Yeah, I kind of thought that was a bit strange when that happened. Like, because why would he have a reason to kill her? The only thing I can think is that he was so out of it, he just didn't even remember, and it, wasn't necessarily relevant. But I don't know. It's very possible it was an accident that she died, but that somebody else was there. I just think the scratches were pretty obvious. And was it a red herring? I don't know.
I don't know, the scratches on Jeff's hand could be just more the bedbug thing, just his nervous anxiety.
He was scratching himself. That's right. He was scratching himself everywhere. Yeah. So that's possible.
Being with a hot-blooded woman.
Yeah, but the only thing is they were like deep scratches though. I don't know that generally if you scratch yourself because you're itchy, you don't, you can, but usually the most part, you don't scratch yourself to the point you're bleeding that deep. And it wasn't
my boyfriend has some issues with that. Like he has some things on his back that itches until they bleed.
Right. But they wouldn't be like 3 distinct scratches. You know what I mean? Like even if you scratched it till it bled, like there'd be multiple scratches. I don't know. I'm going too deep into this.
Hey, Jamie, can you do like a quick promo for the hour? I've got to do something really quick for a minute. I'll be back.
Yes, sure. Go for it. Yeah. I should promo our other stuff. I'm bad at remembering to promo. Obviously we have this show on Sundays. And make sure that if you're not a member of our Discord, that you drop by, because we have watch parties for Yellowjackets when it drops on whatever you want to call it, Thursday night, Friday morning, at midnight. And then we also have a watch party before this live stream. And our regular, mashup, I guess you could say, live stream is on Tuesdays at 10 p.m. Eastern, where we review and break down different shows. Like we have Reacher and Wheel of Time and 9 Bodies in a Mexican Morgue and Daredevil Born Again. And I feel like I'm missing something. We'll be adding Doctor Who to that soon. We also are going to be doing a separate live stream for The Last of Us pretty soon as well. I know probably going to be doing a live stream for Dead City with Lori of Real Therapy. So yeah, lots of things. Make sure you check out our channel, subscribe. You can check out all our previous live streams, of course, under the live tab, and videos under live. We have a lot of interviews there, and I made some playlists for are from interviews and Yellow Jacket interviews and Severance interviews. Thank you, Doc. Yes, we have lots and lots and lots of interviews and lots more to come. Not connected to these live streams, obviously, but got leverage and all kinds of things coming. It'll be a lot of fun. So make sure you check that out, as well as scifivision.com, which is where you can find all the interviews including if they aren't on video, because sometimes like we have Mythic Quest and it's not on video. So there's interviews like that is there as well. It sounded like you're back. Are you back? Or are you still
I
there?
am back.
Still going? Okay, you are back. Good.
Yeah.
And when is your live stream? If you want to.
Oh, I'm having a live stream tomorrow with Julie B Deep Dives. It's kind of like a call in and end of season Severance around 10:15 EST on Julie B Deep Dives channel.
Right, yeah, so check out that as well.
And
like
then
I said,
on Wednesday we're having a From Rewatch party.
okay,
I think before we go on at 10:30 or so in the EST, and then we're doing season 2, episode 3.
Oh, you're already on season 2. Awesome. I need to get back on watching that again. But I was going to say, and like we said earlier, Scarlet and I are going to be doing something else on Thursday, maybe Wednesday on Thursday.
Wednesday on Thursday.
Wednesday on Thursday, but we'll have and more information about all that soon.
You know her middle name's Friday, like Wednesday, Friday Adams.
No, I did not know that. That's hilarious.
Probably because of Friday the 13th, but I was like, we're not hitting either of those days. It would be like
maybe, yeah,
Wednesday,
we'll
Friday Adams on Thursday.
just confuse everybody even more, right?
Yeah.
That's funny. No, I did not know that. So let's see. We are on the next scene. Okay, so she tells Jeff to call her if Shauna calls, basically, and she hangs up on him, which is funny. Okay. Yeah, that's when he goes to sit by Callie. He's like, "Oh, everything's fine," and clearly it's not. So Melissa tells Shauna she could have just rang the doorbell like a sane person, and Melissa doesn't, or not Melissa, Shauna doesn't do anything the way a sane person does, so she shouldn't be surprised.
Well,
she
I did write. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I did write earlier in my notes that I think both Melissa, I had Shauna, but I think Melissa and Shauna's love language is knives. That's her love language.
You are correct.
I mean, they said it was secrets, but I think it's knives.
Yeah, between the two of them anyway. But Shauna's like, I didn't know you lived here, that you were even alive. How are you alive? We all went to your funeral. And Melissa says, and this is what you talk about the cops not being very thorough. She says that if you leave a suicide note, even without a body, the cops take the easy win. So yeah, she basically just faked her death.
Is that true?
Yeah, I hope it's not true, but I don't know. Maybe in that town with these cops.
Just don't care. It's like, oh, looks like a suicide to me.
No, let's just go with that. Well,
there's a note. Nothing weird, not a murder or anything happening or nothing off the course. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. The fact that they thought Lottie was murdered and didn't really delve into it too much. But who knows? Shauna asks her why and if she's still in love with her. And she's like, no, I never was. Yeah, I don't know why Shauna thought that she would fake her death just because she was in love with her. That was a little crazy. But then again, we don't know what happened when they got back.
That's why I'm hoping they have at least a season when they're back, because apparently really bad shit went down after 1998 as well.
Yeah, well, she says she didn't have another choice, and after she made it back, she was no longer one of them. I'm curious why she felt like she was on the outs with them.
I wonder if they just treated any JV that was alive just bad and did bad things to them.
Yeah, I don't know, but I like Autumn says I got secondhand embarrassment from that. Well, Shauna's a narcissist, so I'm not super surprised if I think about it. But yeah, that's hilarious. But okay, where I lost Rose. Okay, so this is when Melissa's phone rings. Let's see, she tells her not to answer. She asked her why she's there, and she wants to know why she was screwing with her. And she takes out, I have a picture of it here somewhere. Takes out, okay, that was when the phone rings. Takes out the DAT tape. There we go. And she's like, how did you even get it? And she says Hannah told her where to find it and begged her to give it to her daughter if she ever made it back home, which she couldn't. And obviously, she knows she didn't. because if anybody ever heard what was on that, it would have been bad. But she couldn't live with it basically. And Shauna's like, so you married her instead. And she tells her that she really does love Alex, and that she, even though she doesn't know her name, that it's real and it's not some sympathy marriage or screwed up version of survivor's guilt.
But then
Kind
she
of
goes
makes you
back on
question.
that. She goes back on that line
And she's
though.
like, well, maybe it was. But I was just thinking, though, when she said that, though, I wonder, Shauna and Jeff's marriage was never great, but I kind of wonder, like, if maybe he never would have married Shauna, and he married her because Jackie was gone, or because maybe he felt bad about what happened. It's an interesting thought. And since she said that about sympathy marriage, it made me kind of wonder, like, is there a reason why they got married that wasn't maybe the right reason? Although I do think they loved each other, or did at one point. I don't know. She with Shauna, it's hard to tell. She's so sociopathic. Um, let's see. I'm gonna mark these ones because we're not quite to that yet. So okay, wait, I lost where was that? Sorry about that.
Everything's really symmetrical in the shot. You've got
It
all
is.
the
It is.
light, all the light fixtures. You've got the framed photos or whatever they are, 6 of those. You got the table. You got them standing parallel to each other.
It is. It is really symmetrical. Since it's not Severance, though, I'm not sure that it matters, but it is really symmetrical.
I
But
thought
she
maybe it
said,
was I thought maybe it was a Quentin Tarantino thing. I haven't really watched his stuff.
no,
I don't know if he makes everything symmetrical too, when there's going to be a talking and then maybe a skirmish kind of a deal.
yeah, maybe. I don't know. Um, so Melissa says she doesn't know. Maybe it is survivor's guilt, but she couldn't give her the tape. She wanted to make sure she was okay. And then that's all it was until she actually met her. And then she tried not let it happen, but she fell in love with her. And she's like, I know it doesn't matter to you, but I have a good life, decent job, great kid. I go to church. And she's like, yeah, you're
Mm-hmm.
right. It doesn't matter.
I like that Hilary Swank adopted a lot of Jenna Burgess's mannerisms, like her little kind of shy smile. Like Jenna
Yeah.
Burgess, that plays Team Melissa, she has this little kind of quirky little smile when she gets a little nervous, and I thought that was pretty cool that Hilary Swank adopted that.
Yeah. She seems to have tried to emulate her, which is cool. So this scene, this is where Akila's fixing her shoe, and it's pretty obvious she's stalling. I'm surprised that they didn't realize she was stalling,
Or try to get a
but
rifle away from her.
yeah,
Get the
uh,
rifle away from her.
that would have been the smart thing.
Uh-oh, now she's got the rifle.
Yeah, she's like, stop walking, and then all of them come out of the woods.
How did they get there so fast?
I don't know. Missy told him, and they hightailed it out there. Now I don't know. That's a good
She's been
question.
tying her shoe for a half hour.
I guess so. I guess so. But Shauna says they're going back to camp. And Cody's like, there's more of us than just the 3 of us. And I don't think I have a picture of that when he says that. No, I didn't. And that's when Van's like, no, there isn't. We saw your camp. You have 3 sleeping bags, which was pretty smart. So whenever Travis doesn't seem to agree, but once Natalie says, we're going back to camp, then he picks up the crossbow and he leads them out.
Mm-hmm.
So
there might be secondary people, though. I mean, if a search party comes in,
there could be. I mean, they're implying it's not, but there could be. Yeah, and we talked about that last week. The fact that everybody seems to know about that box, so he had to tell. He had to have told them, or Maury knew more about it and told them. I still don't know about that, but I was reading. Okay. Autumn says, I read somewhere, someone made a good point that the girls are capable to coordinate track so well because they were the best soccer team in the nation. Might be able to coordinate well. That's true. I don't know, though, because I don't know what tracking takes. It seems like Natalie's figured out how to track, but she also knows how to hunt, too, which might make a difference.
Well, Lottie taught them how to listen.
Yeah.
Listen to the wind and listen to all this noise in nature. So they probably, she was having her spiritual circles and stuff, they probably learned how to listen really closely to nature, and if you hear a twig snap or whatever.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, that's kind of what it takes, I guess. So they've tied up Cody next to Hannah. I question how they know how to tie really well that they can't get away. But I guess if they're all there, they probably between all of them know how to tie a good
Yeah, the
knot.
whole classic tying around the arm, around the hand things. So it's like kind of
You like just move the chair,
classic,
right?
I guess. You think you could
Yeah.
just get out of it?
Yeah, or you could just move the chair with you and then do it, but I don't know. Um,
Yeah.
Glenn says, remember Jeff telling Callie that hikers were around 100 miles away from where they were rescued, so maybe they moved camp, like Chai referenced about a cleanup. I don't know if that's true because he said they were like 6-day walk away.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how
Yeah.
many. That couldn't be 100. Yeah, that would not be 100 miles. I don't think. But then again, we don't know how far those three traveled while they were in the
They didn't
woods.
seem like that experience, so I'm gonna say maybe 6, 7 miles a day at most.
Yeah. So I
I mean,
don't
with
think they were
setting
on
up
the way.
camp and eating and all that other stuff that they would probably want to do, at least Edwin and Hannah would want to do.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I wonder if the 100 miles was just sort of an arbitrary number that Jeff gave. Because
Well,
that
they said
does.
within. It said within 100 miles.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. So it wouldn't necessarily be exactly 100 miles.
Yeah.
But they tie him up, and Ty's like asking Travis, "You're going to leave us there?" And he's like, "I just thought." Akila does, kind of
Mm-hmm.
save him and says that they thought it would be faster with a small group. And Misty's like, "Then why did you leave a trail for us?" And she's like, "Well, in case he screwed us over." So they buy it.
Seems legit.
Yeah, it does seem legit. But Travis is like, so you know where to find us either way, and the rescue point if something went wrong. So there, but yeah, they do seem to buy it. Autumn says that's if we take Cody at face value. Not sure if we can trust him. That's a good point, but I have to assume that they're going to get near the rescue point because they do get rescued, unless this is not anything related to how they get rescued. I mean, they still have some months left, so it's possible it's not, I guess.
Mm-hmm. I think if it comes down to brass tacks, a Kodiak would take out a Yellowjacket or two with him before they would kill him.
Yeah, he probably will.
He's got survival skills.
Yeah, he does. So Natalie asks if he can get him out, and he said that's when he says he can. It's 6 days. Okay, we just said that. So Natalie's like, pack, get ready, and she sort of starts taking charge, which Shauna doesn't like, and says she's not in charge anymore. I kind of feel like Shauna flipped out and said they couldn't leave. I felt like one of the biggest reasons she said they couldn't leave is because Natalie wanted them to leave.
Yeah.
She wants to be in control. She doesn't like that Natalie's starting to take control again because she's the one who's the leader of all of them. They are, she has no right to try to tell them what to do, but Shauna does not. Shauna thinks that means that she can force them to do what she wants, which clearly is not the way it should work. Might be the way it is, but that's because everybody's scared shitless of Shauna, not because she's a good leader.
I was going to say this later, but my reaction to her saying "you're not leaving" is me taking a crossbow and firing an arrow straight through her heart.
Yeah, I know.
Problem solved. Everybody go home. Follow me.
Yeah, I know. If I was Natalie, I would have been like, I'm the one with the gun. So screw you. Stay here if you want. I'm leaving. I'll kill you in self-defense if you try to stop me.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. And I've said this a couple times already that at this point they really haven't done anything that those people have proof they've done other than what Lottie did. Because even though his severed head was there, they could say they were honoring him. They don't know how he died. They don't have proof they ate him. I mean,
yeah, well, Misty said that he died of natural causes. And then they could just say Lottie is mentally disturbed. She's schizophrenic. She hasn't had her meds for like a year and some change. And we will have her go with us, and we will drop her off to the mental institution when we get back.
No, yeah, I totally agree. And even if it didn't work, I'd be like, well, that's on Lottie, not them. They're not the ones that killed her. But I feel like they would want to protect Lottie, but I definitely feel like Lottie would not get in trouble for what she did because she is disturbed. She didn't, and she also didn't know what they were there for. They could even say that they thought they were threatening, they were scared. I mean, there's a lot of things they could say, but again, I'm not sure teenagers think it through.
Mm-hmm.
Jen saying Shauna manipulated Lottie to go against Nat. I think Shauna manipulates everybody all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But I don't know that Shauna really didn't want to go home. I kind of feel like it. I mean, I know that she thinks they need to kill them to get home, which to me doesn't make total sense. But I think a lot of it is she just didn't want Nat to be the one to tell them they were going home. I really
Mm-hmm.
do.
She wanted to exert her power,
Yeah.
and Nat was taking control, and she wanted that control
Yeah.
because she's never had it. Because Jackie always
Yeah.
controlled her life up to that point. You
Which is
know,
not Natalie's fault.
it's not
Um,
Natalie's fault, but Natalie always gets the shit aimed
yeah.
at her. Poor Nat,
Yeah.
poor
Yeah.
little
She gets
goth punk kid.
blamed. Yeah. But I mean, she really, yeah, I don't know, but I agree, and I just think that they should have been like, we're going home. I also can, and granted, this part hasn't even happened yet, but I also question that so many people, if assuming they're going along with Shauna, we haven't seen what happens, but like,
Mm-hmm.
I would think that the people would have wanted to be, the girls would have been wanted to be rescued bad enough that they would have told Shauna off.
Yeah.
Because even Van said something like, to Ty later, like none of it
Mm-hmm.
matters, being rescued, it
Yeah.
trumps all of that. So it's
Mm-hmm.
it's a little surprising to me that they all
Yeah, I
did
liked
that.
all the scenes Liv had. They were great.
Yeah. Yeah, they were. Yeah, she was the only one that was like being sane besides Natalie.
Mm-hmm.
Misty asked what they should do with them, and Natalie's like, "We need them," and she's like, "Yeah, but afterwards." Like she's saying, "Are we going to kill them? What are we going to do?" They might tell people what they saw, and Cody's like,
And the
"We'll
bus
tell."
line.
Yeah, and Hill's like, "I'll tell you. I didn't see anything, and we'll tell
I
them whatever
did.
we want."
I didn't
And
see
Misty's
shit.
like, "We didn't. Yeah, we can't guarantee that." Okay, wait. I think after Shauna beat Lottie's ass almost to death, they're petrified to say anything. I forgot about that. That is a good point, but
Yeah, I
I
don't
don't know.
understand why nobody even tried to stop that when it happened.
Maybe because Lottie told them not to. Because Lottie
But
again is
even
insane.
then, even then.
I don't know. I mean, Lottie is insane. Lottie is
Mhm.
the only one that did anything right now that can't be completely explained. Yeah, you're right. Only Nat stands up to
Mhm.
her, and more of them need to. That's part of the problem. I mean, I
I
understand
feel
there's
that Lottie
sorry,
I feel
go
like
ahead.
Lottie almost wanted to martyr herself to the wilderness in season 2.
Yeah.
That's why she was
Lottie
like with Misty. She's like, if I die, eat my body, survive.
Lottie I don't know sometimes if Lottie's all there, but you're right
You
with
think?
you're
You don't
totally
know.
right with what you said though. She hasn't had her medicine for years. I mean,
Hmm.
they're all kind of psychotic, but she especially doesn't know what's going on. And yeah,
Hmm.
it could be explained away. And if not, she's the one who did it. It's not their
Hmm.
problem. That's the way
Or
I
or
kind of
else on the other side, Lottie is as free as she's ever been, and she would like to have more of that freedom.
and that's why she doesn't want to leave because she knows she'll be put in the mental institution if she does
Hmm.
leave. So I get that, but
I
that
mean,
she
her
doesn't
words were
want
really hitting me really hard, but she also put an axe through somebody's, head,
Yeah, you can only feel so bad for her after she did that.
and eating their
Um,
brain chunks and spreading their blood all over her face. It's not
yeah,
exactly,
he's getting worse is the point.
it's not a good
Um,
look for being, my sympathy.
yeah, exactly. So Natalie says that she's like, we'll decide what we're gonna do with them later. Right now, let's just get back, which is totally the smart move. I mean, like if you guys are gonna kill them, decide later. Right now, get home. Right.
Hmm.
So this is where she's like, they need to bury their friend. And Maury's like, we have to untie them. And she says, well, you'll supervise them. I don't know if that was just kind of like two birds, one stone, because she said before they had to get rid of the body in case somebody else came. So I think she's just kind of like partially like, let's take care of it and get rid of it so it's not here, which was, I think, is smart.
Yeah, but then also, I mean, it seems weird that they would have them do that and untie them.
It does. I mean, it's smart to bury the body, not necessarily to have them do it, but yeah.
Yeah, because it just seems strange. Because you would think that Kodiak would grab that rifle away from Mari in a heartbeat, but doesn't.
I would think Cody at some point would have grabbed the rifle away from one of them anyway, just because he's an adult male and these are
Hmm.
young girls, and I think that he could have gotten it away from Akila if he needed to before. I think
Hmm.
that I mean I kind of feel though like Kodiak hasn't because he's smart and he's listening and he's trying to
Hmm.
like figure out what the best move is against the
Yeah.
girls, and we'll
Yeah,
make it
maybe.
when he's ready to make it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't
Yeah.
think he's really going along with them. I think that if he had a chance, I think he'd be booking it out of there, which is smart. But I'm just saying, like, I get like he's very calculated. I feel like. Um, but anyway, they're all excited. This is where Natty Liz is like, we're going home. And like everybody except for Shauna and Lottie are happy, which is my point of I don't know why they
Mm-hmm.
all changed their mind. But Lottie's not happy about it. And okay, this must not be yet where they go to pack. I thought it was from this picture, but it can't be because there's another scene in between it. This is just the end of that. So back in the present, Shauna says there's something she didn't understand. If she's so worried about ruining her perfect life, why did she send her the tape? And she says it was haunting her. She hadn't thought about it in years. She had it locked in a safety deposit box, but it was her leverage in case any of them figured out what she did and came looking for her. And I assume by what she did means didn't commit suicide. Because she doesn't really go into it more.
Yeah, this is the only part which is really hazy for me about this note and everything.
Yeah, so we don't know what happened to it.
I mean, does her even giving her Shauna the tape? I'm like, why would you give this crazy person this tape? even with a nice note.
No,
why would you
I
put
agree.
the symbol on it? Why would you put the Yellowjacket symbol on it? That hasn't even really been featured this much of the season. You slapped that on there.
I agree. It is weird unless it was just so she knew it was really from her. I don't know, but I guess her idea was it was making me nuts and I wanted to move on. So I thought maybe you could move on too if I helped you with it. It was very, very odd.
Mm-hmm. But apparently now it's probably stuck in an envelope. Kelly put it somewhere. They're probably going to find it. I'm assuming.
I'm assuming they're going to go back and look for the note. Yeah. Autumn says, I thought that was weird too. I don't believe Melissa was trying to mess with Shauna. It was just a weird explanation. Yeah, I totally agree. It was very strange.
If she was around where Nat's funeral was, why didn't she just say, hey, here, everybody, I'm alive?
Yeah. Well,
she was at the restaurant. I do believe it's who Shauna saw at the restaurant, but I'm like, if you're going to show up to the funeral, you might as well just meet them all.
Yeah, no, I agree. And also because she's going to tell her she's alive anyway. Why not just do that? That's the other thing. Why was she stalking her if she sent her the tape? Like, what's the point in that? Because I agree.
Well, I don't think she was actually. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I don't think she was actually stalking her. I think she just kind of. Maybe she was going to approach all of them at the restaurant and then didn't. Because I'm almost thinking this is like truth and a lie or something. Like she left the phone, but she didn't cut the brakes and she didn't do the freezer thing because she was only around Nat's funeral when that happened.
Yeah. It's
kind of like Walter's two truths and a lie.
Yeah, it's possible, but I was going to ask you too. That's the thing is like the whole phone thing. Like, I don't know that I buy that's a coincidence. And I don't think that that's possibly something Callie could have done because, and I know I think Callie, did some things maybe, but I have to wonder, Callie never saw her journals, right? So Callie knows
she only knows what Jeff knows because Jeff read them.
Right, but that was my question to you is, okay, so she knows she killed Adam, but does she know about the whole, everything else? Like, I can't foresee that Jeff actually told Callie what was in the journals. I just can't see that happening. So
he told her about the baby.
He told her about the baby. And she knows something bad went down there, but I feel like, I don't know that she knows they ate people. I don't know that she knows they killed people. I think she's assuming things. And that's why I was thinking, like, I don't think that she, even if she maybe did some of the other things, and I'm not saying she necessarily did, but if she did, I don't think that she would have known about the whole Queen thing to play a song about the Queen of Hearts. I think that had to be.
Mm-hmm. Well, she might know if she found that card at Lottie's, what is it called? Intentional community.
If she found the card, what do you mean the card?
Because Shauna had the Queen of Hearts card when they started hunting her in season 2.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. And
If she was around that when they were picking cards and stuff, she could have maybe seen
I guess
that.
she could have, but not necessarily known what it meant, I guess.
Yeah.
Just knew it would drive her nuts. I don't know, because I just wonder if some of it could be her trying to drive her nuts, but I don't know. But my other question is, she's telling Shauna about the, when Shauna's like, why would we come looking for you? And she's like, well, why did Lottie start a cult? Why did you join the cult? She knows an awful lot about what happened. And I kind of wonder how she knew everything that happened. Like, her knowing that Natalie died is one thing, but
she said she saw it on the news.
Does she? Okay, I missed that. Mm-hmm. I mean, I definitely know that she would know that Natalie and a cop died from the news. But the thing about
you would think that she'd also know it was Kevin Tan because she went to high school with him.
Yeah, you would think she would. She said some cop. But how she would know about the cult makes me question. Like, that wouldn't have necessarily been on the news.
Oh, I mean, totally be on the news. Like,
they might have said that the woman that died, they might have said owned a cult. Yes, but I don't know that she would have known they joined the cult.
Well, it was an event that happened with 2 murders and somebody that got shot at a compound where there was also a state senator that newly elected that was there. I think this would be a whole sensational piece. I think there'd be a whole news program about it.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, even if the news said, Natalie died at a cult that was run by Lottie, and yes, that could be a scandal. But, like, I don't know that she would necessarily know that all of them were members of the cult, or that when all of them went to the cult. Like, yes, I guess you're right. They could have maybe told about Ty. So I guess maybe she could have figured it out. But it just seems like she knows an awful lot. That's all. Autumn says, I think Walter is kind of a wild card. I could see him doing some of this stuff because he knows it'll push Shauna to the brink. Why would he do all this? That I don't know.
I know.
That's a good point.
I know. Yeah, it's something very, very simple. Shauna didn't return his texts. That's enough for Walter to go off the edge and do some crazy stuff.
Yeah, Walter is as insane as they are, I think. So that is definitely a possibility.
She didn't want to go on more adventures with him, putting on outfits and being kooky.
Yeah. It's very bizarre. Oh, this is a good point. Jason says that Kevin was a goth kid and probably not known to jocks and popular kids. She also may not have recognized him either because he didn't look anything.
Because he grew up and he wasn't goth anymore and it was hot.
Yeah, Poor Kevin Tan. I would still wonder though that you wouldn't recognize the name and be like, "Wait, Kevin Tan? I went to school."
Especially if he was best friends with Natalie, you'd see him around. You would see him by the soccer field or somewhere that they were at.
True, but Melissa wasn't friends with Natalie.
Yeah. So, well, there's also this kind of funny thing that happened that people would cite that the varsity team really didn't give a shit about the JV team and barely knew their names or anything about them. So maybe the JV was like, I don't really care about who you hang out with, like the people on the varsity team.
Yeah, she may not recognize them. And I mean, it's not to say that you know the name of every kid in your class, but I just feel like if you saw a cop died, like you would probably recognize and be like, that name's familiar.
It made me feel bad that both of the goth kids died at the end of season 2.
Yeah. And poor Kevin, he didn't really do anything wrong and he got killed.
He just drank the hot cocoa. You just don't do that in the show.
Cocoa. You're right. I forgot about that.
Just don't do it.
Died from hot cocoa. Doc says Walter's sus, but his eyes give me the face.
I know, they're dreamy.
Have pretty eyes. I will agree. He does have pretty eyes.
This is like this pop.
They do. So anyway, she knows all this stuff and she tells, I lost my picture. Where's my picture here? She tells Shauna that she stopped sleeping after all this happened and that one day she's fine and she started having horrible nightmares and they started happening during the day, like fucked up daydreams. They've all been hallucinating from the beginning. Like, this is nothing surprising, They're all messed up. I think that maybe the problem is she likes to think that she's normal and she's not, because none of these people can be normal. But she was talking to her therapist, who, and I love that Sean is like, you call her Barbara, and she's like, well, that's her name. What am I supposed to call her?
Yes.
I don't know. They probably sometimes call them by their names. That's not surprising. But she's like, well, she isn't really a therapist. She's more of an advisor. I also questioned, did she tell her details of what happened there? I'm wondering, because could this Barbara pop up later? Do you think? Or could she be, maybe she was the same as Lottie's, type,
Because figment of her imagination, like Lottie's
well, yes,
therapist.
sometimes I think that person was real. I think she wasn't always real when Lottie
Yeah,
saw her. I think it
it
was a
seems like
real,
she took a little bit of a hiatus and Lottie
yeah.
filled it
I
in.
think she was probably a real doctor though.
Yeah.
But anyway, Sean is
I
like,
guess maybe the writers probably leave this open ended in case they want to bring Barbara in.
yeah, yeah. But Melissa says that Barbara said she was holding on to something, and if she wanted to be free of what happened, of that darkness, she had to let it go. And she realized it was about the tape. So, the day of Nat's funeral, she left it at Shauna's house, and so she could try to do the same. And that would make sense. She was at the funeral or at the
At the
restaurant after
restaurant.
the
Yeah.
funeral. Yeah.
But you think she just
Um,
destroyed the tape? Just destroy the tape.
yeah, but
Why are
she
you
says,
sharing it?
well, but she says that she realized she could let it go and she wanted Shauna to do the same. So I guess she's saying out of the goodness of her heart, she wanted to help Shauna too, which is bullshit.
Just
That
wants
part
Shauna,
to me,
let it go, let it go.
yeah, let it go. That's the
Shauna.
part though that really lost me, because I don't see why she clearly doesn't give a shit about Shauna anymore. So I don't believe that she wanted Shauna to get over it too. I don't believe that.
Yeah, we gotta see
Um,
this note.
Yeah. And Shauna says, no, you've been messing with me for weeks to make me feel crazy trying to kill me. And she's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And that's when she says about the phone, playing Queen of Hearts, locking her in a freezer, cutting her brakes. And she's like, it's genius. And then she says, we can all make pacts and vows of silence that we want. But if you really think about it, the only way to truly be safe and certain that no one is going to spill your darkest secrets is to be the only one left. And I kind of question if that is foreshadowing. And you've said before, even kind of like a Final Destination thing, like all of these people are going to end up dead. I wouldn't be surprised in the end if all but one or all of them did end up dead.
Yeah, but then Shauna's going to also have to take out Jeff and Callie because they know about things.
Yeah, if she's going to kill them. But I mean, not even
If she finds
necessarily
out Callie listened to that tape, like, because she had that recording on her phone at the DAT tape.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, maybe Callie will kill her.
She's going to have to kill a lot of people, which maybe she's game for. Go out and kill Barbara, too.
Yeah, but I don't even necessarily mean Shauna being the one. I'm just saying I think that in the end they are all going to end up dead from one way or another. I wouldn't be surprised if they did.
Yeah.
But she's like, is that why you killed Lottie and pushed her down the stairs? Why you came after her? Now, Lottie, or not Lottie, Melissa is like, Lottie's dead too. I don't know. I kind of bought that. I don't think she knew about Lottie. I really don't.
I think she just went to Nat's funeral, did her thing, maybe left her phone, because I think that's the only thing that she might have done, and then came back to her career and her wife and their child.
So I don't think she knew about Lottie. I don't think she killed Lottie. But I have to wonder too, though, if when Shauna found that phone, why in the hell did she turn the phone in? Like, Shauna is Shauna, and I have to wonder. No,
she did turn the phone in.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But why? Why
didn't she turn the phone into the staff so she would, and then she called them to see who had picked up the phone.
Yeah, so I guess that was probably the reason she did it. Because I was going to say she should have kept it and like looked into the phone, and maybe she could have found out whose it was. But yeah, I guess she figured she'd find out who came back to get it. But I also kind of feel like that person never intended to come back. So maybe it would have been better to keep it.
Maybe
but at any rate, yeah, maybe it was Barbara. But at any rate, she says she didn't know that Lottie was killed. And I kind of believe her. I don't think that Melissa did it. I really don't. I do think she was the one watching her. I do kind of think maybe she left the phone, but I don't think she killed Lottie. So, and I'm behind. I'm curious.
The little penguins.
Yeah, I was curious what that team was, because it says Penguins, but it's not like the Pittsburgh Penguins. I don't know what the heck the team is.
I don't know. Anybody knows in the chat, let us know, or if it's just a mock-up.
No, I just wondered because our team in Pittsburgh is the Penguins, but it is
Oh,
not
cool.
the logo in any way, shape, or form. So that's why, unless maybe they couldn't get the rights to it. So Misty is asking Ty what she's doing because she gives her this guy's chart and it's like, what does it say? He's dying, and she's like, yeah, he has end stage
Mm-hmm.
heart failure. So yeah, he's dying. So he's like, well, he's dying anyway. We can't lose
Gosh,
Van. And again, Misty being the sane person in this group is what always
crazy.
makes me laugh.
That's
Like,
crazy.
it is crazy. Like, she's the one trying to stop her, and she's like, "You can't
Mm-hmm.
do this." And she's trying to going to suffocate this guy,
Mm-hmm.
and because she wants to save Van, and she's like, "You don't have to be here."
That guy
And
totally looks like a dummy.
it does. Well, it could be a real person. I mean, it's hard to tell. It could be a real person. She didn't actually suffocate him.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Well,
but
yeah.
but she goes to kill him and then she can't and she yells, and I love how then the heart monitor goes off. Yeah, they do have
Because
endless
she
vacation
yells fuck really
on there,
loud in
right?
that poor guy's direction.
And then yeah, and then he has
Because
a heart
she's
attack.
fighting between her two selves, and
Yeah, because
like,
she's like,
I
I didn't do
guess,
it, I didn't hurt him, and then she's like, wait, does that count?
yeah, I think she's flipping. I think Tony
Maybe.
Cypress does a great way of flipping from dark tie to regular tie, because she's like, does that count? And then, I mean, she kind of like was panicked, but then she slipped into other tie again, and she's like, oh, does that count?
Well, I think
She's
though
not going
even
back and forth.
regular, maybe, but I think even regular Ty could want to know if that counts because she does want to save her if she can, and she's
Yeah,
kind
but
of
I
like,
don't think
well,
regular
I didn't
tie. I think she
do
was
it.
the one that was pushing the pillow away from the
Yeah,
guy.
but she's at the same time, I think she's kind of like, well, but if that counts, then she'd be alive. Like, so maybe it's not as bad that I did it, type of thing.
If I didn't
Um,
touch him and he died, it's fine.
yeah, and if it counts, then good, Van will live, right? Autumn says a
Yeah.
penguin. I wonder if wild warriors chose that to symbolize her boring life. Penguins are birds that cannot fly. She's content where she's at, but maybe reading too. I don't know. I
They
just
could
wondered
swim
because,
really
like I
well.
said, our team's the Penguins. That's the only reason why I really,
Well, I was thinking penguins are black and white, so that would be like the darkness and the light.
yeah, yeah, it
But they
could
swim
be.
really well. They don't fly, but they're great swimmers. They
They can
almost fly in the
swim. Yeah,
water.
they are great.
I just saw them at the zoo
Swimmers.
today. They're great creatures. I love penguins.
I want to go to the zoo. I haven't been to the zoo in so long.
Yeah, I volunteer at mine. I mean, I'm lucky to have a small zoo that isn't that expensive to get into, but I also volunteer at, so.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Fletcher says she's crazy. Or no, sorry. Mackie says is talking to Fletcher says she's crazy. I'm 80% sure her therapist doesn't even exist. Might not. I don't know. I haven't gone forever. We knew, as a side note that has nothing to do with Yellowjackets, we knew well, no, they still own it. The people that own this, it's like a wildlife thing. I mean, it's essentially a zoo, but it's like got more than that. And because we knew them, my dad talked to them, and it was like years and years ago. But anyway, we went back when they were feeding the baby tigers, and I got like a whole bunch of pictures of these little teeny tiny tigers being fed by bottles. It's so cute. No, sorry, I got sidetracked, but I'm thinking
That's
about the
fine.
movie tigers. Yeah.
The killers.
Yeah, no, but they were cute. They were little babies. Of course, I didn't
Yeah.
actually get to like touch them or anything, but I got to
Yeah.
take pictures.
It's really good.
What's black and
Good
white and red
choice.
all over? I don't know, Doc. Is that a Yellowjackets joke there somewhere?
A nun rolling down a hill. Is that the one?
Yeah, there's a lot of them. Those are puns. There's a lot of them. I lost where I was. So.
And then Misty again being the rational one says, "Let's get out of here."
Yeah, so I was trying to see where. There I am. Okay, so and then when she pulls out "All
Yeah.
Right" by Supergrass plays.
Yeah, all right. By Supergrass, I have that in my notes.
Yeah, that fit well.
Good use of it.
Yeah, I love their music in here. It's always good. This is where I just knew he looked different. I realized I'm like, he doesn't have his glasses.
Yeah.
So
That was a good spot.
Yeah, it was. But Maury's standing there, and I have to question.
Yeah.
If when she drinks the water, she sees a Slurpee. Is she really paying attention to them that they couldn't have
Yeah,
got
look
away?
the way she's holding the rifle. She's not holding the rifle in any kind of position.
Yeah. And that kind of surprises me there that they didn't try to
But she's
run. But
dreaming about a Slurpee. I mean, Kodiak could have got that rifle away from her.
yeah, yeah, I agree.
I think
At
it's
that
funny
point,
though. I like this whole sequence.
yeah, I do too. And Missy's like, "Ooh, toilet paper." They're all just, I guess, imagining what they're going to do.
Like she's
And of
heading
course,
into the woods with some disappointing leaves, and then she's like, she's like rubbing it all over her face. There's so much toilet paper there too. Look how much toilet paper.
I know that's like
It's
her
an
dream.
abundance of toilet paper.
It's hilarious that her dream that she misses is toilet. I mean, I understand missing toilet paper, but like if you're thinking of the first thing you're going to do when you get back, you're going to take a shit. Like
Yeah, exactly.
it's kind of what it is. And the fact that she rubs it all over my face, or all over her face, I kept thinking, what if that's like poison ivy or something, and she's rubbing it
Oh
all over?
no. Yeah,
Would be really,
gross.
it would be really awful, but really funny.
Yeah.
Also, why does the toilet paper have little gold seals on it too? Is my other question. That's weird.
It's the best toilet paper you can buy.
Oh, okay. I've never. Well, I guess clearly I don't buy the best toilet paper, but
No, I don't know. I'm discussing.
oh, okay, maybe, because it's even like got a little pointed end there.
Beautiful toilet
Yeah,
paper.
yeah. So Van is imagining laying on a bed in the middle of the woods, but of course she's actually really on um, their sleeping bag. So she does have something at least. Doc says he had that dream during the pandemic.
Oh yeah.
Lots of
With toilet paper.
Hilarious. So okay, so Ty wants to talk to her, and she asks them what if they can't be together when they get back, and she's just basically worried, I guess, what everyone's going to say about them being lesbians, I guess, is what she's originally talking about. But Van's optimistic. She isn't worried about it at all. And
yeah, I feel like Van would be a real spokesperson for gay rights.
I think she would. I agree.
She wouldn't be in the closet. She'd be out there with Ty and being like, let's protest this.
Yeah, no, I totally agree.
Let's change things.
But Ty's conversation though sort of shifts about other things though too, because she was saying about the lies they have to tell everyone and they have to be on the same page. At first, I just thought she meant like to do with their relationship, but no, she's like everything we've done, what happened to Jackie and Javi, that we can't trust scientists. We have to tell everybody the same thing and get on the same page, like they're talking about when they get back. And aren't you worried about that? And she's like, we're gonna have to kill the scientists, so she clearly intends to kill them. And she's like, when we get home, someone could slip up and they know what we did.
Yeah, I have like notes that say they didn't have to kill anyone. They could all point the finger at Lolly, killing Edwin, and the rest they did to survive. Their fear adds more crime. And then I referenced the crash in the Andes where they were totally fine with doing cannibalism when people died. And they ate them. And they came back and they were fine. I mean, not completely fine. As fine as you could be if you were in a plane crash and you had to eat somebody and survive and come back.
But yeah, I mean, they don't know what happened to Coach. There's no reason they would know. But like I said before, I'm not sure that teenage girls would necessarily think through the fact, we didn't really do anything that we couldn't get out of. Like let Lottie take the fall, or better yet, just take, Lottie wouldn't, because you'd say, she was off her meds and that Lottie would get out of it too. So yeah. But they don't think it through. Jason said that Sammy Hanratty had a video on Instagram about the dream sequences with the Slurpee the bed, and she gets toilet paper. Yeah, I don't know.
Like all those scenes, that's the one she gets to act out, gets to be on the toilet.
I know. Well, it's Misty. I'm not really surprised because it's Misty.
Yeah.
Adam says, I think they're afraid of the shame of it too. They don't want to be known for cannibalism, even if it was necessary. I would agree with that. But Van makes a comment somewhere here, and I don't know if it's in this scene or not. But where it is right here, where Ty's saying it'll follow them for the rest of their lives. This place will follow them. Why is going to be thinking about that? And Van says, because getting rescued and going home outweighs all of that. And I think that's the big thing. Like, yeah, it would suck, but you're home. And I would think that even if you had, like, I understand that Lottie had an awful life at home and that she knew she might end up back in the hospital, and I totally get that. But I would think that any of that would be better than being stuck out there like they are. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I didn't have a bad childhood.
Well, and winter's coming up too. They had a really horrible winter.
Yeah,
where
they're gonna have
nothing was available to them. You know, I don't know if they're not remembering that. And I mean, a lot of these
oh,
girls want to go to college too. I mean, maybe they want to go in a job where they're in the service of people or animals or whatever and want to work for the common good. And that they don't want to be out in the wilderness, even if they could live out there.
yeah, right. And the thing is, although now you say the winter's coming, you're right, but they do have 3
Mhm.
people to eat if they kill them. So there's that.
Yeah, I guess so.
Just saying, just
The
saying.
wilderness provides.
It does. So she tells Ty to pack a bag, and then all of a sudden, sorry, I didn't go far enough. There, it looks like it's probably dark
Hmm.
Ty. It seems to be with the look she's giving, and we see the man with no eyes behind her.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, I don't know. What do you think that symbolizes, other than that's probably dark Ty? Do you think that like it necessarily means anything that guy's there?
I
Because
think that other tie is the one that stays at the end.
okay, that makes sense. I just because I was thinking about before how you had theorized that, which I agree with, that the man with no eyes might, represent death. So I just wondered, like,
Hmm.
in that sense, does it necessarily mean anything, or is it just because it's dark tie? Because I don't know that, unless it means
Yeah,
death is coming. I guess it could just
I
mean
don't
in
know.
general.
It's always these scenes that are seen from an audience perspective that gets me to believe in Team Supernatural. Like, she wouldn't know that guy was behind him. Look behind you.
That's true. Yeah, you're right. It's not
But
that
he could
Ty's
be a
the one noticing it,
personification of just the wild,
the
the
wilderness. Yeah.
wildness, the wilderness.
The wilderness, yeah. No, but I get what you're saying though. It's not that Ty sees him, it's that we see him. I hadn't
Hmm.
thought about it that way. It's hard to tell because sometimes I think they do things like that more just for a cinematic.
Yeah, especially with Ty. Like the other parts, I've almost thought with Team Supernatural was when she was looking in the mirror and she turns, but her image doesn't turn. Stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
And
no,
I
I
told you
agree
about
with
the
you.
blood stomp that like Natalie and Lisa see, but it's only in the perspective that the audience will be able to see it. So I'm like, well, that's just supernatural then, right?
Yeah, is it supernatural or is it just because they want it to look cool? That's where sometimes it's
Yeah,
kind of like there's that
true.
line of
Mm.
which is it. But yeah, I see what you're saying, and that's something that would be like cool to ask.
Or this guy could just be the body man of the wilderness, not necessarily death, but the spirit of the woods.
Mm-hmm.
He just
Yeah.
took this form.
Yeah. Either way, it's creepy as hell. It
Yes,
just looks like.
agreed.
So, Alyssa and Shauna are packing. Oh, excuse me, my stomach's bothering me. Shauna asks why she's being weird, and she's like, "I'm being normal given the situation."
Hmm.
And she's like, "I can't wait to get away from you."
Yep.
She's clearly mad at Shauna, and she's like, "This guy shot an arrow through me, and
Hmm.
you saw me bleeding out, and you didn't even care. You didn't even ask if I was okay. You just ran off." And she's not wrong. And Shauna's like, no, I knew that Jen would take care of you. So, and I was the fastest. I wanted to get
Best
to
in the
him first
book.
and kill him. That is such bullshit.
Mm.
But she's
That
like,
I like.
then she says, I'm still not ruling out that I'm going to kill him for shooting you. So stop being a bitch.
Yeah, I was like, stop. In my notes, I have stop being a bitch. Oh, I love that Shauna. Oh, mine. So dreamy when she talks to me like this. A
I know,
smile
like
comes to
Melissa
my
just
face.
eats it up, but thankfully she sees the error of her ways, later.
Hmm.
Jen says maybe the wilderness can communicate with Ty's supernatural creep.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I hadn't thought of that. And Mackie loves Van, especially adult Van. I like Van
Hmm.
too. I like all the characters but Shauna. I liked adult Shauna till this episode, and now I'm just like, yeah, she's the worst too.
I don't know. I like to hate Shauna. I mean, it's great.
Yeah, no, it's okay. You can
I mean,
like the
she's
hate.
just so crazy. You just don't know. I mean, that's what like Jeff was saying. You just don't know what she's gonna do next. What has she done?
Yeah, no, and I agree. I just at this episode, I was just so disgusted with her at this point. I'm just kind of like, no, I'm over it right now. At least right
Yeah.
now. But
Hmm.
I do like Melanie Linsky. She cracks me up, so I can't completely
Yeah.
hate her. Not that I don't like the woman. I don't know her name. I told you I don't know all their names.
Who's?
I do also like what's is their name Sophie?
Oh,
Is that
which one?
somebody?
There's two. There's Sophie
The one
Thatcher
that
that plays
plays
Nat,
the
and
one that
Sophie
plays.
Nalise that plays Tina Shauna.
Yeah, okay, Sophie. Okay, I was gonna say
Yeah.
not that I don't like her. I just meant that I do like Melanie Linsky. But I mean, she's really good too. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I just Shauna is annoying me too much. Um, And Autumn's right. She
Fair.
gives us A+ level gaslighting. She's gaslighting everybody all the time. That's Shauna. Shauna is a total sociopath, narcissistic sociopath, and she's
Yep.
also a psychopath, but she's definitely a sociopath too. So okay, they have that conversation. She tells her that where'd I go? I lost it again. She says that she might kill him. And then she gives her the hat. Melissa asks her what the first thing she's going to do when she gets back. This is when she starts saying, like, what's the first thing you want to do? And she's like, I want to go to college. I want to graduate. I want to get a normal job. I don't care if it's boring. And she's completely not lilistening.
And
when
she
she's
like
saying
she also says though, one of my favorite lines, I want to get a gym membership and not even use it.
Yeah, I forgot she said that. You're right.
Yeah, it's a good line.
But Shauna's not entirely listening because she sees another one of these moths.
She sees death, the darkness,
so
the dark moth, as opposed to the ones that are drawn to the light. That's her, the embodiment of Shauna being the dark death's head moth.
Well, it could be, but she's not listening. She's watching this moth. And then Melissa asks her if she's going to take the scabbard back with her, and she hands it to her. Yes, that is most definitely a different scabbard, knife holder, whatever you want to call it. That's definitely different. Sean,
yeah, because this one has like leather lacing on it.
Yeah. Did you notice? And I don't know if it's just the actress wasn't. It might not have meant anything, but it looked like her hand was shaking when she took it back, which I thought was odd.
I don't know.
I don't know. But I do like how it.
She just loves that knife so much. She's like, can't wait. She's like, ah.
Yeah.
Or I could stab somebody right now.
I
can't stab you, Melissa, but I want to.
But I do like how it transitions to like showing the knife there.
Yeah.
And that they're kind of, I don't want to say in the same position because obviously she wasn't pointing a knife at her in the past. But
yeah,
I like the direction of the way they did that. So she tells Melissa that she's not stupid or insane, and she's like, I didn't say you were, but I didn't kill Lottie or do any of those things. And that's where she says that her life is boring, normal, exactly the way she wants it. And she says that Shauna can put her past behind her too. And she's like, that no, it's not normal. And the only reason she can even pretend it is because she's not herself. And she's like, this is not normal. And then she's like, you don't get to have a normal life. And that's where I think it's kind of like with Shauna wanting to be the one in control. Shauna doesn't allow her to have a normal life because she can't have one. And if Shauna can't have it, then nobody can.
Yeah, she's definitely the queen of deflecting.
Yeah. But her phone
amongst other things.
I didn't get a picture of the phone, but her phone rings and there's a picture of Callie, and she's like, "Is that your daughter?" And she said, "Yes." And she's like, "But does she know you're living a lie and what you're capable of?" That was what was from the trailer. And she's like, "Yes, she does." And Melissa's like, "And she still loves you?" And she's like, "Yeah, she does." And then Melissa's like, "Who's lying now?"
Yeah, I like how Hilary Swank smiled like in recognition and then said that line.
Yeah.
She's like, she was like, "Oh yeah," and then she's like, "Yeah, you're lying."
Yeah, and then Callie's leaving a message like, "Tell us you're not dead."
Yeah, I think you're breaking dad.
Yeah, you're breaking dad. That is what she says. Call me back. You're breaking dad. That was funny. Meanwhile, Jeff is leaving a message for Misty. Yeah. Sorry. No, go ahead.
No, I just like what he says about like what is she like the four-eyed freaky little mushroom or whatever he calls her.
Yeah, freaky little four-eyed mushroom.
But I love what I like about Warren Cole's delivery just in general is that he says that he throws the phone down, but then he grabs the phone. Like, I love the way that he does that. Like, hello.
Yeah, like I better have hung up. I think everybody's done that before, though. When you say something nasty about the person on the other line, and you're like, "Wait, they didn't hear me, did they?"
Yeah. Yeah. He does it really well, though. He's a good comic actor.
Yeah, he is. I missed this. I was going to say I missed this point from before. Jen said it was crazy that Melissa gave Shauna the knife in a wilderness. They were young, and Shauna still has it. If it is the same knife, yeah, I agree. I mean, we don't know for sure, but and I clicked the star. So how do I click off of it? Crap. Hold on.
Yeah.
I lost it. There it is. Okay, there we go. So you're right. He picks up the phone, makes sure he didn't that he hung up. Then he screams into the pillow, and Callie's like, "I did it together," and he's like, "Yes, of course." And I also marked down again. I noticed, and I forgot to mention this earlier, but okay, this time Callie has butterflies on her necklace. I mentioned her earrings last time.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many motifs of butterflies in the show, but I also noticed
Butterflies
that,
versus moths.
I know, but but yet at the same time, Shauna's always wearing, Jackie's butterfly shirt, so I don't know what that
Mm-hmm.
says if that's the case. But I also noticed Alex's daughter, her sweater had butterflies on it too.
Mm-hmm.
So
Girls
yeah,
love butterflies.
unless the butterfly represents, like you said, maybe it is butterflies versus moths, and it's the light side, and it's like,
Mm-hmm.
because it was Jackie's shirt, whether Shauna wears it or not, it used to be Jackie's shirt. Maybe it's representing her trying to get that light back, and it,
Mm-hmm.
isn't working. But maybe that's saying Callie's good, and maybe I'm wrong. Who knows? Let's
I'm on Team
see.
Callie. Go Team Callie.
I knew you are.
Oh, she's evil.
I lost where we were. Okay.
She just wants to love her parents.
Yeah. So she tells him to pull it together, and that's what she says. We're both thinking the same thing. No one's after mom.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, he totally agrees with her. And he's like, wait, why do you think that? And he says the brakes on the van, she jumped to someone cutting them, and the phone and the freezer stuff, it just doesn't add up. And this is where there you can see the cuts on his, it's hard to see without zooming in, but you can see the 3 slashes on his hand. I mean, I think that picture, like, it clearly looks to me posed like they wanted you to see that.
Yeah.
Now, whether it's just the cat, I mean, did he ever interact with the cat? She told him she got the cat. And
no, she had the cat.
Oh, that's right. She was holding it. Okay. I just wondered if it was supposed to be hinting that maybe
cat could still be in the house. I mean, who knows? They probably don't feed it. They probably fallen into neglect.
Yeah, no, I just wondered if it was trying to say that maybe he killed Lottie, or if it's just a red herring. They want you to think that. Cat. I don't know. But it's pretty obvious the scratches, regardless of who gave him the scratches or what gave him the scratches.
Killed Lottie with the cat.
Yeah, maybe.
You know how they do in horror movies? Like, they, throw the cat up, and then the person's like, whoa, and falls down the stairs.
Yeah, throw it at their face. But she says she can't explain why she doesn't think that somebody's after her, but she says that she doesn't know what they did to survive. And she says she doesn't know everything. And that's where I said, I don't think she knows what's in the journal. I don't think he told her, because that would be really messed up to tell her. I don't think he would.
But she did listen to part of that tape too, so she knows something, She
knows something, but the only thing that tape has is somebody being murdered by Lottie. I mean, like, that tape is 46 minutes. There's nothing else on that other than them going after them. That doesn't prove anything. And that's why I don't understand why the tape is such a big deal, because it's not proof of anything, especially because Lottie's dead.
Well, it has her confession, Hannah's confession on it too, when she's stuck in the log.
What do you mean? What does she say? She says that
when she's talking about her baby and teen pregnancy and all that, that's on the tape.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, there's nothing on the tape that makes the girls look guilty except for Lottie. Like, why is it even an issue anymore?
I don't know what's on the tape. The tape has always been questionable, how long it is, what's on it, how much Callie listened to, because I'm so confused that her recording was 43 minutes long, but they only played like a little bit of it in the car. So that's always been a big question mark to me.
Yeah, but I guess I'm saying, even if the tape was 46 minutes of what happened after he got hatcheted in the head, like, there's nothing on that tape that proves guilt of anything, unless they stopped and re-recorded, like, like they paused it in between, because there's not, I'm just thinking about it, like, it's supposed to be this big thing that they couldn't let anybody get, and I'm just wondering what it proved. To me, thinking about it, the only thing it proved is what Lottie did. And I guess
it's also going to record Shauna like Nat talking nice to Hannah when she puts her hands up and everything, and Shauna coming behind her and wanting to stab her and talking about killing people. Because they're right by the log.
Yeah, and Autumn says even if the tape doesn't have more on it, still connects the researchers to the girls, which they don't want.
Mm-hmm.
And AA says the importance of the tape is to prove that the girls came into contact with the Froggers and Kodiak. I guess
Mm-hmm.
that's true. I'm just making the point that, like, yes, they came into contact with them, but that doesn't prove they killed them. Like, they would have a really hard time in a court of law saying these girls
Mm-hmm.
killed these people because
Yeah.
they said they wanted to. Like, I'm just saying it doesn't prove it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I could understand not wanting to get it, but I just don't think.
Yeah.
But either way, Callie is trying to find out
Yeah.
too much what happened. I do not believe that
This
Callie
whole
really
tape thing is probably the weakest thing in the season for me, actually.
It is. It is. It is. But she says whatever happened, it messed them up more than we thought.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
and she said whatever happened to Lottie doesn't have. I don't know if I wrote that or that was part of what she said. Whatever happened to Lottie doesn't have anything to do with them. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
That might have just been my note, but I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah.
Hey, Lori. Oops, sorry.
See, I put in my notes that Kelly and Jeff are doing what Kevin Tan told them to do in last season. I think they're going away from Shauna, but other people are saying they love Shauna and they want to band together as a family, which I don't know exactly.
Yeah,
I'm getting mixed vibes.
yeah, it's hard to tell with them. And I still look, even if Callie didn't kill Lottie, which I still am not sure about, I still think that Callie is like her mother or could be like her mother. So I don't know. She still scares me.
I'm Team Kelly all the way. Go, Kelly.
And it says it kind of does prove they killed them because they allowed Lottie to live with no repercussions after she killed the guy. It makes them all look animalistic because how they're hunting them. That's not untrue. I'm just saying that, like, if it was brought to like court, they couldn't actually convict them on it.
Yeah.
Like whether
Unless
regardless of
Lottie
what
wasn't like, I killed a guy and put an axe in his head, but then she would be probably guilty by reason of insanity.
Yeah, and she's already dead. So yeah, I'm just saying, like, it would definitely make them look guilty, and maybe they don't want people to know that they might have done it, but I'm just saying, like, it's not something that would hold up in court.
Well, especially because there's a statute of limitations, probably too.
I don't think there's a statute of limitations on a murder, though. There is on some things, but I don't think there is on murder. I feel like that's from something. They're like, there's no statute of limitations on murder. It's from one
I don't know. I don't watch Law and Order and stuff like that. So.
No, I don't know. Jen says, I think the real dilemma will be about what Shauna told Jeff about Valky needing to back off. I think there will be a face-off between Callie and Shauna, and Jeff will get in the middle. Definitely could be. Yeah, Apple doesn't fall far.
Or Kelly will accidentally kill Jeff, like Shauna said in the pilot. That if he climaxed inside her, her baby would become a killer and would follow him and kill him.
Yeah, maybe. I never thought of that. That's hilarious.
You know, I have a good. Okay, can you go back to that last comment?
That one?
The Apple comment?
Oh, the Apple comment, yeah.
There's a couple of them, actually, that say about the same thing. There are apples mentioned in the scene with Melissa and Alex. And they're talking about apples and worm food and betrayal. And I thought that was interesting. I put in my notes because I thought that the mention of the moss were interesting, the mention of the worms were interesting, and apples and worm food and betrayal.
Yeah. Although the apple makes me think maybe they'd be referring to Alex, but I don't know that makes sense.
Yeah, so, and plus Matt Saracusa also said that when he was questioning Shauna, that the apple doesn't fall from the, I think, something fucking tree, he says.
Yeah, no, I totally agree, and I don't.
Oh, I think it was when he was looking through I don't even know why they did this. They let him actually go through Callie's things, which seems just crazy.
That is.
And then he said something about the apple in the tree.
Yeah, they wouldn't let him. That doesn't make sense. She's a minor.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, last people that you were seen with when you go missing are usually the culprit. Those are the last people that they were staying with. No, I'm not disagreeing, and you guys are right. I'm just saying that I don't know. And see, she's saying they could use it as substantial evidence. I just don't know that there's enough for substantial evidence. And also the fact that these were minors when it happened. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it hasn't happened.
That's the intensity of the whole situation, having a plane crash, them not being rescued, having to survive for 19 months.
Yeah. I just don't think it would stand up. I'm not saying that it wouldn't be an awful court case, and you could be right. They could find it circumstantial enough. I'm just like, I personally don't think that it's enough, but I don't
would have
know.
to go back to the plane crash site and all that and find bodies. Like find I guess it's Coach's head in a bag that Natalie puts in the plane, and Edwin's body and like all this other stuff.
Oh, I never thought about it being his head. I just assumed she put his bag there, like.
Oh, I thought it was his head, because that's
Yeah,
where
it
she
might have
put
been.
Jackie's bones. She put Jackie's bones in the plane before they buried them.
Oh, interesting. Though,
When it gets winter and the ground's too cold to dig, even though they did dig that thing for Edwin, so why did they dig something for Coach?
well, it
That's
isn't cold
weird.
yet, but yeah, they should have. But the other thing is, though, is that by the time they went back 25 years later, it would all be bones anyway. But I guess they could see the rest of the bodies missing. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Well, they
Um,
would have evidence that he got killed.
yeah.
Like if they dug up Edwin, they would have an axe to the head wound.
Oh, yeah, I would think the axe would have went through to his skull and would probably
Yeah.
show. But again, that was
Mhm.
Lottie, not them. And we'll get to the note. I starred all the note questions because we haven't got to the note bit yet. But also, I wondered when they did this. Jeff tells her to get their stuff that they're. And he says, nobody wants to be known as a neighborhood cannibal. You're not wrong. I'm not saying it would be a good look. But anyway, Jeff tells her to pack because they're going home. And I thought it was kind of interesting. And I don't know exactly what it says, but the fact that like he's telling her that they're going home and like it kind of parallels the girls packing to leave. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know what it says, but I marked it down. And also Wonderwall is in this scene.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
Yes, so, I could see the similarities between that and them packing up to go to nationals.
Yeah. Wait, what? Say that again?
When they went to nationals, when they were packing the pilot, I thought that's what you were referencing.
No, I meant that Jeff tells Callie to pack up, and I said they're all packing up.
Okay,
now.
okay, I get that too. Well, I guess it works always then.
Yeah, it does. Autumn says they have also hinted that they might have done something crazy when they got back, which they don't want to draw attention to. Definitely. I think there's definitely more stuff that we don't 100%. Know about. Yeah. But right now they're all packing, they're all excited, and they're talking about what they're going to do when they get home. Melissa and Jen are talking about eating fries and milkshakes, and I forget what else. I don't know.
Which order they're going to eat it in?
Yeah, which order they're going to view it. And then Akilah is getting water. And, did they ever show them like boiling the water and stuff? They never actually said what they like if they get
clean. They do water. Boil it because they boil water for baths and stuff.
Okay, I couldn't remember if they ever showed them boiling eggs. Clearly that
it's really weird with like Akilah here, because I would thought, because they were like, nobody mentions their friends or family. This would have been a great point for her to say that she wanted to see her nephew or or sister. And kind of brought that home of what she wanted to see, but they didn't put it in there. No, they could easily put a line in there, but they did it. It just had her like getting water for like a while.
No, I agree. And also she's also not packing. Like even Natty had said, we need to get water together to go, but no, she's getting water for the animals.
Yeah, I guess the animals will be a point of contention for her.
Yeah, she'd have to leave them, but she can't really take them with her. And the plants are dead.
She could, but I won't explain how.
Yeah, I mean, if they're going to go back on a plane, she really couldn't. It would have to be something she could carry. I mean, I guess she could like carry a bunny with her or something, but she have to carry it.
Or they could eat rabbits for their 6-day trip.
Be nice.
I'm just saying.
I know.
6 days on the road.
Food to bring. So she sees the plants are dead. And so she rushes off to the animals and she sees all the animals dead and she starts freaking out. And then Lottie comes over. There's a little bunny. I took a picture of a live bunny. Lottie comes over and is like, what's wrong? And she's like, am I imagining this? Are they okay? And she says, yeah. So Lottie's like, you saw something. Yes, she did. And she asked her about it. And I'm sure she'll tell her. But they didn't actually show it, just that she's asking her about it. Then we go back to the plane, and this is in not only going there to the plane is in the opening credits. I didn't notice till today. That's why I was saying, there's other things. That's where she puts Coach's bag there. Is it his head? Maybe. I didn't know that's what
I thought it was his head.
That definitely makes sense. I just hadn't thought about it.
It was the shape of a head.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I didn't pay that much attention to think about it, but yeah, it could be. So she goes on the plane. She leaves the bag there. She says she wishes he wasn't dead and that he made it there. And then she starts freaking out because she hears something, and she says, "We're going home. We're leaving you behind." And I think she's just imagining it. I know you probably think there's something there. I think she's just imagining it.
Well, she had that other like vision too
She
when
did.
she was doing drugs and everything. That she was in the plane. It was like the same thing.
Yeah,
She
no,
feels
she
like
did.
there's a force in the plane.
She definitely does. But I mean, it's not abnormal when you're alone in the dark to be scared and like think you should hear something though too, to be fair.
Mhm.
But yeah, either way, she says that whatever it is, whatever you are, we're leaving without you. We're leaving you
Yeah,
there. Um
that's what they think.
then yeah, I know. And then back at the hospital, Van is standing in front of her door, and I took a picture of the board there. They clearly never actually found out she wasn't her wife, which you think at some point they would have noticed um, that their names didn't match on the license or whatever. But I guess they could be like not. They could be in a state maybe. I don't know. Or is it legal in all the states now to get married?
Like if you're living partners, you have some
That's what
right.
I mean. But she said specifically wife. But I guess they could just assume they're partners and not married. I just think it's
Well, I
funny they
mean,
never
she's
did that.
dying. They probably gave her a break. No,
Yeah,
she's not gonna die alone.
yeah, that's true. I don't know. I just think
I
it's
don't think
interesting.
she has any living family. I think her mom's dead. I don't know about her dad.
Yeah, I don't know. But they didn't check was my point. So
Yeah, there's also a
she
2 and 5 in there too.
yeah, five
There's a
room
2.
five.
I can't remember where the 2 is.
There's L2 in the corner. That's
Yeah,
the
because their plane was 25-25.
oh, okay.
There's a lot of
And
25s where you look.
they come back 25 years.
Yeah.
Um, but anyway, she comes in the room and okay. So when after she goes in to see Van, she hears rattling on the door and like she turns around and you see Ty is at the door.
hmm
So it's good Ty trying to be let in by dark Ty.
hmm
And she's like, I can't let you in. I'm the only one that can help her. You won't do what needs to be done. You never believed. And she does
hmm
yell that she believes. I gotta question this. I assumed that she means you won't do what needs to be done, you won't kill people, right? But at the same time, isn't she in Van's room?
I don't know what your question is. Or
The dark Ty tells whatever you want to call her, good Ty, regular Ty, that
regular
she
tie,
won't
yeah.
do what needs to be done.
hmm
And I assumed that she meant like you're not willing to kill people for her.
Yeah.
But she's in Van's room, right?
Yeah, she's
It's
just
not someone
visiting.
else's room.
She's just taking a breather before she goes and kills some people on the other wing.
Well, no, I just wondered if there's a possibility because I think she's so insane to begin with that she's going to kill Van, like to put her out of her misery. I just kind of wondered because to me it seems weird that she's saying this from inside Van's room as opposed to like from
Mm.
inside another patient's room. I don't know, but the point is she won't let her in.
Mm.
So then back here, they're ready to leave. Natalie and Travis point the weapons at him, and they tell him that if you do anything, we'll kill you. We will. And Hannah says they just want to get home. And then they're all excited to leave, but that's when Lottie says, I'm staying, because Lottie is completely insane.
Yeah,
And
she has that antler queen dress on again.
yeah, she does. But Natalie's like, I know it's a lot and it's scary going home.
hmm
And she's like, what home do you have to go back to? I can't go back. She's like, nothing will be well. I won't be well. I won't be myself. The me that made it, the me that was made out here. And that the unwellness she feels is deep in her bones and that she thinks they're safer there. And finally, Natalie's like, fine, then stay. And then Shauna's like,
And I
I'm
felt
staying.
it was a really touching monologue, but then she's also put an axe through a guy's head.
Yeah, you can't feel too bad for Lottie.
Brain cereal.
But then, yeah. But then Shauna stands up. She's like, I'm staying too. And Lottie's like, you feel it
Of
too.
course
She's like,
you
I'm
are.
not staying because of you.
Because you're the
I'm
worst.
Yeah, she's like, it just doesn't feel right. And then Ty's
Yeah, she
also,
doesn't even know. She just like, because I don't like you, Nat. That's the reason.
yeah, I think that is the reason. Nat is taking over and she doesn't like it because Ty's like, I'm not going either. And
Well,
then of
she's
course Van,
dark tie.
yes, and Van's like, you're going. She's like, doesn't want to hear it. She's like, you're going. Since when does it matter to you these feelings? And
Yeah, I love Liv's acting here.
yeah, I
A
do too.
plus.
Yeah. But she's like, well, Ty just told her something don't feel right. And Natalie is like, Ty says she's been feeling it too since the two of them arrived. And I have to question, there was three of them. I don't know if she meant since they got back to camp, because I find it funny she said since the two of them showed up. It's like, there was three. But
well, it's
anyway,
because it's other Ty. She's only counting two.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Whoa, what just happened? I just got a Windows thing popped up. I don't know what that was about. But Ty said she's been feeling it. Van's like, who cares? And
yeah, this kind of plays out with dark comedy with poor Nat here.
yeah, now it's just like, are you
like,
all
what the
insane?
fuck?
And Travis is like, the only thing that doesn't feel right is not going home and ignoring rescue. And Natalie's like, fine, you lost your minds, fucking stay here. I'm leaving. And then Shauna's like, no, you're not. And this is where I just don't understand that many people would.
That's when you
Shauna
turn. That's when you turn with a crossbow and you just shoot her in the heart like Cupid.
Exactly. I'd be like, Shauna, I have the gun. Fuck you. And I'd be like,
you give it to Kodiak, who's already proved they can shoot through the heart of a rabbit accuracy, and he can have her shoot Shauna through the heart, and they all go home. The end.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised, and maybe we'll see this and we just haven't seen it yet, but I'm kind of surprised that Kodiak isn't trying to like ingratiate himself to Natalie, because I think like Nat's his best chance, you know?
Yeah.
Nat,
and now
Nat's
the saying shot through the heart and you're to blame.
else.
Shauna gives love a bad name.
Yeah, that would be funny.
Jersey.
Says Natalie's bonded with the plane even when she was done. Oh, that was they were saying that she's still on the
that makes
plane.
sense. Because she had that vision when they were all dead in the plane, and then when she died, she was on the plane with Javi and Teen Lottie. Yeah.
It's probably so lonely back at school for Allie. Her entire team disappeared. Allie's the one that made out good out of all this.
Yeah.
So I don't know that I feel bad for Allie.
I thought she was supposed to be back this season for like an episode, but maybe she's not.
Still could be. There's still 2 more left.
There was rumors.
Yeah, this is where Autumn said I had skipped this one. This is where she said she's continuing black on the plane, Natalie. So that was what the other thing was in reference to. Night Doc, thanks for coming. Okay, we still have things about the note to get to yet. That's when we get to that part, because we haven't gotten to that part in the recap. Hold on, I think there was something else. My chat's being stupid and not moving. Hold on. Come on, scroll down. Autumn says Ollie milks that every day and constantly talks about how she was meant to be on the plane.
Yeah,
I could totally see
I love her. I'd love to see her again. She's a great actress.
Yeah, no, she was.
She has that like Fran Dresser accent and everything. The Fran Dresser.
Yeah, I forgot. They showed her at the reunion thing, and we never saw her again.
Yeah.
Autumn also said, "Can't believe they didn't list Misty as Van's trauma bond." Oh, in the hospital room. Yeah, that's funny. That would have been funny. Eddie says the other girls are terrified of Shauna, both what she's done and could do. I agree, but I would still feel, I don't know, I just personally, like, I would still feel that leaving is the most important thing, and Natalie has a gun. So I would go with Natalie, and I'd be like, no, I'm leaving. Screw you all. Yeah, that's just my personal opinion. But anyway, Shauna's like, you're not leaving. And we don't know what happens after that because we haven't seen it yet. I think Natalie, though, she said something like, you can't tell them what to do. Oh no, that might be from the trailer. I don't know. Anyway, she says they're not leaving is the point at the end of that. And then we have Jeff checking out of the hotel, sorry. And it was room 2106 and 2107. And I marked down in the chat, somebody had said that 2106 was the room that Shauna and Adam used, which I didn't know. So that's interesting. But Jeff has this whole discussion about he likes that they can talk face to face, and that part wasn't really important. But then the Jules come up, and he's like, I know my wife ruined dinner, but it wasn't me. My business didn't, my talent didn't. And my wife may not have been clinically diagnosed as a crazy person, but she is. And you didn't like the dinner because of her, not me. She's miserable. It makes everybody miserable, which he's not wrong. And he's like, don't give up on me. And he's like, haven't you ever fallen in love with an unhinged woman? Or has every woman you've ever been with been boring?
It's interesting that they reference boring, like the boring normal life.
They do, yeah, with the episode title.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I love too the look Callie gives him, like, wow, she's actually, he's actually standing up for himself. So I really like that scene. I thought that was good.
Yeah.
And then here we go back to Melissa.
Here we go.
Yeah, here we go. Well, this is I was going to go through everybody's comments. Melissa asks her if it's possible her brakes, rather than her brakes being cut, her car was just old. Did someone lock her in a freezer, or do they have doors that don't stay open unless you prop them up? Someone left their cell phone in the bathroom with a popular ringtone. And I have them in my notes, but yeah, we know someone was watching though in that scene. That's why I do think she left the phone. I don't know. She sounds kind of condescending here, like, you're crazy. So I don't know how I feel about this. But she's like, did someone murder Lottie, or did she just struggle from lifetime of mental health issues? Both things could be true, because yes, she did, but having mental health issues doesn't have anything to do with falling down the stairs. So I didn't quite get that comment. Like, I get
she had all those candles lit and everything, like she was doing a ritual as well, though.
That's true, but she didn't die because of that. She died because she fell down the stairs.
Undetermined.
Undetermined. Well, no, they think she died from falling down the stairs, right? They just don't know if she was pushed. I guess I assumed that somebody pushed her, but either way, Melissa, everything that she says here though is true. That Shauna creates her own problems. She stirs the pot to stay alive, and she's like, even before we went, weren't you screwing your best friend's boyfriend? And she's like, you make everyone's problem yours because you hate to be alone and you want everyone else just to feel as miserable. And then she asks if she was there to kill her because she doesn't know what her plan was when she broke in. And she says, I think you want your life to explode because it's fun for you. It lights you up. You want to burn it all down so you can watch. And that's again where I marked it. Second time they talked about fire. You want to burn it all down so you can watch. And it makes me think maybe Shauna did burn it down to burn a cabin down to watch. Maybe Shauna burnt the cabin down because she wanted to blame somebody and kill Coach. Who knows?
It's so hard to navigate that though, because she would have to set the fire. Unless she had accomplished, she'd have to set the fire, then go all the way to the attic and write in her journals and pretend she smelled smoke and walk all the way back down.
Yeah, you're not wrong, but it just
you think she'd already had the bag packed because she's running around in the attic collecting things. You think she already had that bag packed if she knew what was happening.
Yeah, I don't. Well, but Shauna's nuts. I don't know. She just
Shauna.
They said it twice. It made me wonder.
Oh, Shauna.
But let's see. So Melissa starts to pick up her knives when she's back over at the table. She touches it or whatever, and then that's when Shauna knocks her onto the ground, and they struggle, and she starts punching her in the face. And then she headbutts Shauna, and then after Shauna pushes her down, she bites her arm, rips off and is like, "Eat it." You eat it, or I'll tell your family who you are. Just eat it. Yeah. And then the song Dig Me Out by Sleater Kinney. I've written down. That's so gross.
Yeah, I like that song. I never really listened to them in the 90s, but that song's pretty good.
Yeah. She's like, here, eat this piece of skin. And she's like, crazy. Like, eat it or I'll tell.
If you tell me you're full, just eat it.
Yeah. I'm not going to leave the super bloody picture on.
Yeah. I'll just leave the slightly bloody picture.
Just a slightly. Well, because I don't know if YouTube would pick it up if it's on the whole time. Yeah. So it's going to go. We got to the end of the episode, but we do have a few in the chat, things in the chat left. This was from before, though. What's up with Akilah? Travis tries talking sense to her, and she's having the same feelings like Ty, Lottie, and Shauna. I don't know. Although I do kind of wonder that Akilah didn't stand up and say, I'm not leaving either.
She didn't really.
She didn't, but no, she is a little, in this episode, not sure what.
But she really believes in her visions, though. Because she was like, Ben was supposed to be our way or whatever, and she really believes strongly in those. It's hard to shake it.
I don't know. See, I wondered if maybe she was kind of coming around to Travis until she had another vision. But
yeah, I don't think she ever was.
Now.
Yeah.
Jen added that she's huffing too many fumes, like Travis said. Doesn't feel right. She
Yeah.
is definitely huffing too many things.
It doesn't feel right because they're all on fumes, right? Is that the point?
Yeah. I
I'm
had to
not
give
on
myself
fumes right now. It does not feel right. I need some
You're right.
fumes.
Yeah. I don't know if you saw this. I didn't put it up earlier. Justin, I had stored it. Justin wrote a
Oh
poem
yeah.
too. They made Scarlet side by side in YouTube frames so wide, breaking down each twist and turn as Yellowjacket, Seeker's Burn, Jamie's Sharp, and Theory's Bold, Scarlet's Humor Bright Skull. Thank you. Very nice.
I have theories too.
Yeah, we all have theories. Or we both
And
have
you're
theories.
also funny.
There, thank you. Let's see. Okay. Did I skip the part about the note? Because I was waiting to get to the note and I don't even remember reading about the note. Did I skip it? Or am I
No,
just
it was
not remembering?
earlier. Wasn't it earlier? Because she said she left the note with the tape?
Yeah, I thought it was earlier, but I don't remember reading it. Maybe I just read it and don't remember reading it. But at any rate, she said she left a note explaining everything.
Mm-hmm.
And Jen said, "Did Callie get a note? I don't remember a note. Did I miss it?" No, Callie did not ever show a note.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Yeah, I
think
went through
Callie,
the prior episodes and actually looked to see if there was a hint of a note in the envelope or anything. You don't see anything.
but did you not see because they didn't show that perspective, or did you not see because there was no note?
Well, when she opened the envelope, you didn't see any note, and then later she's sitting on the bed with the tape. So I'm assuming she probably didn't know there was a note in the envelope.
It's possible. See,
She's a
I don't know.
teenager. She's a teenager.
I kind of thought, and I agree with what you're saying, so it makes me question it, especially if it didn't show it. But I kind of
Mhm,
thought maybe she left it out because she's, toying with her mother and trying to make her
mhm.
nuts.
Or Melissa never put the note in there in the
Or
first
Melissa
place.
totally lied. Well, I
Could be
said
a
she's
twist.
actually
I mean, not
very,
lied about it, but just didn't put it in. Like all these weird happenstances that happen. Oh, somebody cut my brakes, but it really wasn't. I put the note in there, but I accidentally didn't put it in. Or
yeah,
Callie threw it away, or
or she's just completely lying. We don't. Yeah.
she is, but she's Team Callie.
No, I mean Melissa could be lying
Yeah,
about.
she could be. I mean, there's not a lot of reliable narrators in this show.
There isn't. Mackie said Melissa and Sean are going to start making out while her freshly bitten arm bleeds casually.
Hey,
Yeah,
they might. We should do a betting
yeah,
pool.
yeah, maybe.
I
Uh,
mean, knives are their love language.
they are. Real says, I think
Maybe
Callie's.
cannibalism's also their love language.
Oh, cannibals. Yeah, cannibalism. Lori said, I think Callie is holding on to the note. Maybe it mentions that Lottie started the problem by killing Edwin. Maybe that's why Callie would be angry and Lottie and may have killed her. That's a good theory. That's interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I think there's a chance that Callie killed Lottie, but I don't know that I've had a reason.
Yeah.
So
She doesn't really
I,
have a
I like
motive.
that. I like that. Um,
I mean, you have to really write a story if you're going to be writing Kelly into that.
well, yeah, I said I don't necessarily have a reason. I'm just
Yeah.
let's see. Let's see. Where'd I go? I lost where I was at. Okay. AA says, could Lottie have been trying to throw herself down the stairs like how
Mm-hmm.
Travis was trying to hang himself talking to it? So like
100%.
she was trying to not quite die. Maybe that's a good theory.
100%. That's exactly what I thought it was. She was trying to relive that ritual. She was lighting those candles. She was
That
trying
would
to
make
commune
sense.
with the wilderness. And she
Yeah,
also, like Travis, died accidentally.
yeah. That's
So the
actually a good theory. I
wilderness
like
does not want to be taught to this way.
that. That's a
try
good point.
try sending some other message or some other ritual. Do
No, it
another
says, do not
ritual.
do this.
Don't do
Not do
this
this.
one.
No. Yeah, no, that's I don't think you mentioned I don't think I've heard that before. I like that.
I mentioned it to you before.
You might have. I said I don't know if
You
you
probably
did. It's
don't read
possible.
everything I write. You
No, I
just
do,
skim
but
it.
sometimes you're like me. You send me a message and you send me like a book when you send me a message.
Yeah,
I
you're
do the
just
same
like
thing to
skimming
you.
it. You're looking for your name
No,
and skimming it.
I read it.
I
I
understand.
read them. Although today I was really dizzy and having a hard time reading text. I told you
Yeah.
that. So I may not have read 100% what you sent me today. I got to reread it, but I do usually read it.
Yeah,
Autumn says
pretty much said pretty early on with the candles and stuff. I thought she was imitating Travis's
yeah.
ritual.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of remember you saying that now that you're saying it, but I didn't remember. I like the idea at any rate. I like both of your ideas. How's that?
Yeah.
Autumn
Well, the same
said
idea.
that yeah, that idea, yeah. Autumn says that's how you can tell Melissa 100% clock Shauna because she lashed out in such a extreme way.
Mhm.
I really think Aquila believes she's a prophet and is suffering from gas poisoning and probably not
Mhm.
thinking clearly. I definitely think that they're high from the gases still. I
I'm
agree
gonna
with
make a
that.
comment about that other comment because I honestly thought that because I didn't know if Hillary Swank was gonna be adult Melissa or in the situation at all in these later episodes. I thought she was gonna see Alex and she was just gonna torture Alex like this. Like Alex would be there instead of Melissa.
So Melissa, yeah, we didn't
Yeah.
know when she was coming in. I'm not sure which chat thing you meant.
What chat?
You said you referencing one of something somebody said. I didn't know which one you meant.
Oh, the comment you put up before this one.
That one about.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, got it. I wasn't sure.
No, because I thought Shauna was gonna come in and just attack Alex, and Alex would be like, "What tape?" And she wouldn't have any idea, and she'd be doing all this stuff to her, you know. Like you
Yeah.
cut my brakes and you did all this, and she'd be like,
You're
"I
like, what
don't
the
know
hell are
what
you
you're
talking
talking
about?
about."
That might, I don't know. That might have been interesting too.
Yeah,
But I like what they did.
yeah,
I just kind of hate that everybody already kind of knew she was going to be in and assumed she was
yeah.
going to be Melissa from the beginning.
Hmm.
They didn't make it.
Well, I didn't know she was going to be in this situation with Alex and everything.
Oh
So
no, definitely not. But I mean,
yeah.
we knew that she was Hillary Swank was coming in and assumed she'd be
Hmm.
Melissa. Eddie says, I think Shauna is both paranoid and that there is a threat from someone that hasn't yet come to light, maybe another yellow jacket. I mean, it
Hmm.
could be both things. It definitely could be both things.
Yeah.
Um, Jason says Carrie Brown's scene from Portlandia is
Hmm.
in Leader Kinney. Okay.
Yep. Yep.
Um,
It's good though. I mean, I haven't listened to much of it, and I'm like, maybe I will listen to it because that song is pretty awesome.
yeah, I want to get the like song list from this show and listen to them.
Yeah, the soundtrack to the season's pretty amazing.
For not for this for what for season 1? You mean?
No, for
Or
this
for both?
season. Yeah, for all the seasons, really. But this one's more
Oh,
my
so it's
bag.
not like an
It's more my bag
actual.
because it has stuff like the Cure and Cocteau Twins and stuff in it. It's
No,
more a
I'm
little
just surprised they
screechy, a
already
little bit
have.
more screechy and
But
dark.
they already have a soundtrack out, or just you mean like there's a song list of all the songs in it?
Oh, they have soundtracks. They put out they put out soundtracks for each season that have the popular music on it.
Okay,
And
I
then
just didn't know
they
they
also
put out
have
the songs.
Blood Hive, but Blood Hive I think is like streaming only because I don't think there's a hard copy of it.
Oh, okay, I'll have to look into it. I'd like to listen to this stuff.
Yeah,
Um, AA says, "What if Aquila is getting addicted to the cave fumes?"
it's
I had
good.
not thought about that.
Is that going to be the next episode? Like, let's go back to the cave, Lottie.
Maybe. AA also said Melissa is lying, and then she said something else and doesn't remember what it was because she deleted it. So, yes. Hold on. I just saw Lori's comment. She's asking if she can call in. Let me get. I don't know how long we're going to be on, but
Mhm.
let me copy it and let me find where I was because I lost it. I will post the StreamYard link if you guys want to call, go for it.
And
And
Lori,
then
I'll be really kind because I know you have an opposite Callie theory than I do, but I'll just shut myself up and mute my mic.
Hey, I still think she might have
Could be
done it. I've said
tactful.
that before. So yeah, but if anybody else
I'm just
wants to
gonna
call
plug my ears and go la 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 when you say stuff about my poor Callie.
I was gonna say if anybody else wants to call in too, you can. Just if we don't know who you are and you haven't been interacting with us, make sure you tell us first so we know you're legit.
Mm-hmm.
We add you. Well, you screwed up my background, Lori.
Oh no.
What happened?
No, because I have the overlay that I made in Photoshop. It's only for 2 boxes.
Oh, sorry.
I just can't stand that Windows out thing on the outside of the picture.
Oh,
So I had made an overlay. I was getting too ambitious with it.
so how's everybody tonight?
Good.
You know, I
Tired.
want.
Yeah. Did like your lights didn't go out or anything, Jamie? Because ours was like on the fritz to almost go out because of the thunderstorms.
No, I actually haven't heard it for a while. I mean, my lights didn't do anything. I could hear the storm outside, but I don't hear it now.
Where are you, Lori? Where are you at?
I'm in New York. No, we don't have any storm tonight, thankfully.
Okay. Yeah, we were
Yeah.
getting like that kind of severe thunderstorm that could turn into a tornado. It's Michigan.
Uh-oh.
You get a lot of that.
Uh-oh. Oh
Always
no.
keep you on your toes, kind of like Shauna. It's like the winter
Ex-
experience of Shauna.
Exactly. Exactly. So I wanted to make a comment about um, the fact that Melissa sent the tape to Shauna. I don't understand that. She said that she was terrified of Shauna when they got back. That Shauna turned everyone against her. So she pretended that she died. You know, she faked her own death and she changed her name because she didn't want them to know she was alive. Why would she send Shauna the tape? The one person she was terrified of. This does not make sense to me.
No, she
She
said
said
that she thought she could help her, but I don't believe that.
that doesn't make sense. For her therapist, coach, whoever it was, advised her to get rid of it because she was holding on to the past. So by getting rid of it, she's freeing herself of being bonded to this traumatic past, right? So by
Mhm.
giving it to Shauna, how is that helping Shauna? It's actually bringing it back for Shauna. So I don't see how that's helpful to Shauna.
I
I
don't
think
either.
I think Melissa is up to something, and I don't quite understand what's going on. Was there a note? Maybe she is lying. Maybe she never put a note in there. Or maybe there was a note. But whatever it is, and how does Melissa know about what happened at Lottie's compound last season? How does she know
What I
that
asked.
it's very suspicious to me. You changed your name. You got as far away from these women as you possibly could. You married. You have a new life. You said you're really happy. Why are you keeping tabs on all of them? I
Yeah.
I find her very suspicious, personally.
No, I
Hmm.
do too. I'm not sure that she tried to kill Shauna, but I don't believe the thing about the tape. I agree with you there. I'm just not sure what to think. Some part of me, when she's telling her this, it looks she's acting so condescending. I wonder if it's all lies. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Autumn says she agrees. I love the writing, but in this case, it feels like bad writing unless Melissa's lying. I agree.
Yeah. Yeah. The
AA
thing,
says, what if Barbara is Jen or she meant Maury? She put Melissa as Jen or Maury. It'd be interesting if it was one of them, but I would think she would know that. They wouldn't be her therapist, so I don't know. Sorry, go ahead.
no, I just think that it's very suspicious. Um, why does she want Shauna involved in her life now? I mean, you're sending somebody a tape that you want nothing to do with, right? And you're putting a note, I'm sending this to you to help you. It's not helpful. So,
It's not.
of course, Sean is going to contact her and say, why the hell are you sending me this tape? Why do you even have this tape? Right?
Yeah,
It just
yeah,
doesn't make any sense.
yeah. I agree with you. I don't buy it. I don't like I said, I don't know that she was trying to kill her, but I definitely don't get the tape thing.
Oh, so
Um,
that's another thing I was going to say. So she wants Shauna to think that Shauna is imagining all these things. And maybe Shauna is. I mean, Shauna has gone through complex post-traumatic stress disorder, just like they all have. And she's paranoid and she thinks
well,
people are out to hurt her. So it's possible that she is imagining it, but I don't think so
you
because they're
know,
making it too obvious. Jeff said it, Callie said it, now Melissa's saying it. I don't think Sean is imagining it. I think someone is trying to drive her crazy. That's what I think.
yeah, I was just gonna say now that other people also said she's imagining it, maybe not.
Hmm.
But yeah, I'm not sure how she found out everything about the compound. I mean, I do agree with what Scarlett said, like the thing with Natalie's death, and that would have probably been in the news. But I feel like some of it wouldn't have been. She would have had to, at the very least, look into it to try to figure out what was going on. And
Right.
she made some guesses.
Right. She knew all about Lottie, what Lottie was doing. She knew about the compound. She knew about all of them.
Hmm. Yeah. So I don't know.
And
I
the
don't
fact that
trust
she
her.
would marry Hannah's daughter is so bizarre. I mean, I understand she said she met her, she fell in love with her, but come on. You married the daughter of someone you helped murder.
I know that's a pretty big coincidence.
Right.
It doesn't work. I don't know. I do hope that some of it's lies because I agree with, was it Autumn that said it? Oh yeah, it was Autumn who said it. If she isn't lying, then it does seem like not great writing. Because
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't make a whole bunch of sense.
Right. Yes.
Um, Now, this is about Callie. AA said, I just can't see Callie killing anyone because she seems concerned that her mom might not be a good person. Yes, she's Shauna's daughter, but what if she didn't get the evil gene? What if Shauna's son did? Which is interesting about her son. But I I don't know. I go back and forth about Callie. One minute I think she killed Lottie. The next minute I don't. I think she could have killed Lottie, but it could have been an accident. I do think Callie is like her mother though, and a little
Yes.
sociopathic. Yeah, I don't know that she has a. My thing is, I don't. As much as I kind of think she killed Lottie, I don't know that I see a reason she would have killed Lottie. So
Unless there was a reason in the note.
yeah, that could make sense.
Right.
But
Because let's think, let's, the truth is Lottie did cause the problem. She killed Edwin. If she hadn't done that, they could all have been rescued. There would be no problem.
the other thing is, and I had said this earlier, that I also don't think Callie knows everything that's happened. Like Callie's trying really hard to figure out what her mother did.
Mm-hmm.
The tape, as I said earlier, I really don't think proves a whole lot of what happened because I don't think Callie would be able to understand what was on the tape. I
Right.
do not think Jeff told Callie what was written in her mother's journals because that would just be like a really bad thing to do as a parent to say, oh, yeah, she killed people, she ate people. I don't
Right.
see that happening. I
No.
think that Callie's assuming things happened.
No,
And
but
she's
unless Melissa wrote that explicit, specifically in the note that because Lottie killed Edwin, we had this problem. If it wasn't for Lottie, we all could have gone home a lot earlier, and there
Yeah.
would have been no issue.
Yeah, and maybe
So if she had, and she may have written that in the note, and maybe that's what caused Callie to actually confront Lottie. And maybe she fell. Maybe it's true. Maybe Lottie did fall, but she grabbed on to Callie for support to get her balance, and she fell. I don't think Callie deliberately killed her, but she may have been involved in some way.
Yeah, I don't know. I definitely think it could be an accident. I just question if she put deep gouges in the wall that nobody at that town is very competent that they didn't check. She could have been murdered.
Mm-hmm.
I had forgotten about that.
There were
Autumn
gouges
says,
in
I
the
think
wall.
yeah, I guess that was what Misty took part of the evidence from. I think.
Yeah.
I mean, she took it from under her fingernails, but there was scratches too.
Oh,
I think Kelly has a moral compass. She seems horrified by learning about the researchers. Yeah, I do think so, but I also think Callie has a crazy streak.
yeah,
Maybe.
she does.
Well, I don't know.
Look what she did at school. She had all this raw meat brought in
Yeah,
to freak
Yeah,
exactly.
you can't
everybody
say
out.
she doesn't have a sense of humor.
Oh yeah, she does. But she got a thrill out of tormenting those girls back. You know what I mean? She didn't take the high road. She's like, okay, you're screwing with me, so I'm now going to screw with you. And she really did. So, yeah.
Guys, I'm going to run out a second. I starred some of them. I'll get when I get right back. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Well, you two talk.
Okay.
Can I do a little promo? Can I do a little promo, Lori?
Oh yeah, of course.
Oh, you're going to be on tomorrow night on Julie B. Deep Dives, right? At the Severance Talk?
Yes.
Me and Julie B. Dives are going to have a little Severance Talk with Gus on tomorrow night at 10:15-ish EST. And it's a discussion of the season. There'll be a call-in. We'll hopefully get a big panel going of people, theories, your opinion of the whole season in general, what you think is going to happen in the next season. And it'll be good. It'll be a good time. It's real casual. It'll be like a severance party. So hope you guys can make it there. And then on Wednesday on Julie B. Dives, we are having a rewatch party of From, and we're on episode 2. Oh God, It's been a long night. Season 2, episode 3. And we will have a watch party before that. And then we will discuss at length with theories episode 3, season 2. Around the same time, like 10:15, 10:30 EST. So that's what's happening.
And also, I am putting out a video on
Oh!
Yellowjackets on this
Cool.
episode, actually. Yes.
Wow.
And it should be up tomorrow.
What's your video about?
It's going to be about, I'm not recapping the whole episode. I'm focusing mostly on Shauna and Melissa's interaction and what's going on there. And I go into more psychological depth of, you know, how Shauna has been traumatized by her experiences, how she doubts things, how she's paranoid, and basically her conflict with Melissa, which goes way back. And we can see it's still there for both of them right now. And I just go into that in the video. So yeah, so everybody tune into my channel tomorrow and you can see this perspective on Shauna and Melissa. I'm also going to do another video just on Shauna, just breaking down her psyche, like what is going on with her. But that will come later. Yeah.
So when do you think it's going to drop during the day?
I don't know. I'm not quite finished with it yet, but sometime during the day tomorrow. Yeah. Okay. Do you have my link? I don't know if you have it. Let me. Oh, I can't put it in the chat. It's real.
Yeah, we can put it on Discord if people go to the Discord. We'll make sure we.
Because I don't have access to that, but Jamie might be able to.
Okay.
If you give me a second, sure. Let me. Where did
but honestly, if I do anything outside this iPad, it throws me out stream.
No, I was going to say, I mean, I can post it in the chat if you post it in Discord or message me with it, but I can't.
Oh, I can message you in the chat right now, right? Okay.
I don't know. Yeah, if it'll let you. I don't know if it will because you're not through StreamYard. But yeah, if it lets you, go for it.
Yeah, you should be able to.
Okay, hold on 1 second. Let me.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, we'll have to check out the video.
Yeah.
I need to start I always say it, but I need to start doing theory videos.
Oh yeah.
But I never get around to doing them, but I need to do some. But anyway, while she's getting that link, I'll just reiterate, we have a live stream on Tuesday for our weekly roundup of all the stuff that's been on Wheel of Time, Reacher, 9 Bodies in a Mexican Morgue, and Daredevil Born Again. So that's Tuesday at 10 p.m. Eastern, and then on our YouTube, and then Thursday night, Friday morning, whatever you want to call it, we have our Yellowjackets watch party when the episode drops at midnight, and then of course our Yellowjackets stream again on Sunday. And we also have been watching 9 Bodies in a Mexican Morgue as well when it drops, which is usually on Saturday night at midnight, but this week came out early, we found out. But so we'll be doing that again. Oh, there. Okay. Lori put her YouTube link in the chat. Yeah. So check out Lori's channel as well. All right. Let's see. So let's go through a couple of things in the chat we skipped. AA says, agree with Lori because how would Melissa know Shauna isn't over everything? She said she saw the compound stuff on the news. I wonder what type of light the news painted that night in. I don't think she said she saw it on the news. I think we said, well, Scarlet said she probably saw it on the news. I don't think she actually said it, did she?
I thought she did. I could be mistaken. I thought she made a reference to that.
Maybe. That's why I just wondered how she knew, but maybe you're right. So I meant like Melissa knows that Barbara. That's what you say,
Barbara.
Maybe but doesn't want Shauna to know, so she needs to name Barbara. That's definitely possible.
Barbara Murray.
Also thinks someone is definitely after Shauna, but thinks it's Walter. I think it could be. I think the show is trying to hint that it's Walter, but he was following her that day, but he played it off as wanting to work on the investigation with Shauna. That would make sense too. Jen doesn't trust Walter either. He put the seed in Misty's head that Shauna wasn't a good friend. I definitely don't trust Walter either, but I do like Walter.
But those are bad friends.
They are bad friends. Yeah.
You are not best friend. You are worst friend.
Yeah. No, you're right. He is trying to get her against him, but he's not wrong.
Mm.
Shauna isn't a good friend. Yes, Walter's super sketchy. I want to believe he's a red herring because I love him, but I don't know if it walks like a dog, talks like a dog. It's a dog. Yeah, I like Elijah Wood though, so I at least
I wish
don't
we
want
saw
him.
more of him visually instead of
I
just
wish we
phone
did
call
too.
stuff.
I wish we did too. Um,
Whatever he was this busy.
what she could have done those girls at her school way worse. I think she took the funny route versus going dark fingers. Cross Kelly is a good seed. I'm not sure what that was in reference to.
The meat thing. We were talking about the meat incident where she had that like meat that she poured on the girls or on the table.
Yeah, that
she
makes
didn't pour
sense.
it on them. I thought she was going to pour it on them, but she poured it on the table.
Yeah, she could have done worse. I re-put you back in, Lori, and I
Yeah.
removed the other one. Did that work? Sorry, I didn't know you were knocked out until I saw you pop up again. Sorry.
Yeah, I didn't know either. I was talking and I'm like, oh, okay,
I'm
I'm not on.
why you got so quiet. I'm like, she put it in the chat and then she disappeared. Yeah.
Work is done.
Hey,
Okay, and I just put the link on the chat the backstage chat. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I see it.
Okay.
It's somebody put something. Oh, okay, I see. You put it. Yeah, you put it in. It showed up in the regular chat too, so you're good.
Yeah, but it didn't have the actual link. You'd have to type it in or copy it. But this is the actual link. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if me adding the link myself, if it makes it into a link. Yeah, I guess it does because the other one is.
Sure.
Okay. I didn't realize that it wouldn't do it for you. Let me copy it then. I'll paste it myself.
Oh,
That's fine.
okay. Thanks.
Sure. There we go. Let's see if it makes a difference. I'm looking on YouTube to see if it's an actual. Yeah, it is an actual link when I change.
Right.
Interesting. I did not know that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I would have to be a moderator to paste the link.
It's just well, I understand why they do that. That's fine. It's there now, so it's all good.
Okay. Great.
Thank
you.
Let's see. Sure. Autumn says heard people talk about Nine Bodies. It is a pretty good show. I mean, it's not a super deep show, but it's a fun show. But episode 9 is coming up, so you need to catch up. Could Walter could always be Edwin's son or somehow related to all this? I think a lot of people have theorized that. It's a possibility. I could see that, and that would make sense. But if they were going for like a big reveal, I think people already guessed that before. That's the only thing. Okay. Sorry. Let's see. I was going to say, why does it say Jamie twice? That's because I have the picture up. Well, you guys have anything else to add? Oops. You got quiet.
No, I think, I mean, it's possible that Walter is Edwin's son, but that would be a bit much because, we just found out Alex is Hannah's daughter. It's possible.
Although, to be fair, Hannah or Alex wasn't somebody we knew before, though. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't exactly a reveal.
Yeah.
It was
And
a reveal that she was married to her, but
it looked like Edwin and Hannah had a relationship going because she called him babe, but I mean, it doesn't mean that he didn't have some kids. Before.
Exactly. Yeah. I could see him being Walter's father, actually. I could see it very clearly.
Yeah, I could see that too. It's just so many things. Like, I wonder if we're going to get to. I just hope we at least get another season. Although, like I said before, I can't really see it not getting renewed because I think it's doing good as far as I know on Showtime. So I would be surprised if we don't get another season.
It's
but,
I'm just wondering,
it's Showtime's like, what do they call it? Like their something show, like their flagship show.
Yeah.
I mean, that and Dexter. I mean, those are the two big shows.
Yeah.
The actress that plays Lottie, the adult actress, she had no idea that they were going to kill her off the show. She was shocked.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they did it, actually, because there's not too many of them left in the adult timeline.
Unless they're playing that Final Destination card where Dustin's going to come for them one by one, and one of them's going to be the last one standing.
Yeah. Maybe. Yeah. I think they probably had already planned. Like, I think they probably had planned to kill her a long time. They just didn't tell her, maybe.
Probably. So
well,
every season they're going to kill off one yellow jacket, I guess.
maybe.
Or
And maybe
more.
bring a new one in. We don't know. Yeah, it could be like 9 bodies. All of a sudden there's a lot. Do you think they'll ever revisit the Adam plot? It seems like he was obsessed with Shauna and then it was dropped. Weird, kind of. I think they could. I think it didn't fit in this episode. There was too many other things going on.
Adam's Edwin's kid.
Yeah, Adam's Adam,
And Walter's brother and Edwin's kid.
Yeah, I kind of feel though like Adam's dead, so I don't know that there's a lot left other than maybe bringing up that Shauna murdered him, but actually like more about Adam. I'm not sure exactly. Like those Edwin, yep. Yeah, I don't know. It could happen, but I could see Walter and Edwin being related. I could also see Cody and Adam possibly being related. Remember, Adam had that Yellowjacket stuff. Yeah. Adam was what's this? Adam was supposed to be Javi, but the writers ditched that plot line. Okay.
Yeah, really early on.
I was gonna say, but we know Javi's dead, so that must have been way before that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how.
They toyed with the idea.
Yeah, Jason says, and that he was the one that said it in the chat too. Sorry about that. Earlier, that the hotel room Adam and Shauna had was the same one Shauna and Jeff had. 1206.
I guess if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah. A says, I think Misty will be the last one standing. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if Shauna like ends up dead, but it's like her own fault because she's of everything.
She has like a droopy death, like Jennifer Coolidge had in the White Lotus, like a death.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
like a droopy death. Like, whoops, I fell. Doop de doop.
By the way, are you watching the White Lotus?
I am.
What do you think of it?
I'm going to, but have not yet.
I really like the season.
It's not this season
so far.
What episode are you up to?
6.
Okay.
I just
saw the one that they dropped tonight.
I
was liking it, but now I don't know. Well, it's a little strange, but
don't be anything.
Yeah, no spoils. No spoilers.
No spoilers.
I've seen part of season 1, and I have not seen the new season. I do.
Season 1, I think, was the best. I love season 1. Season 2 was okay. I like Jennifer Coolidge's plot line in season 2, but really not the rest of it. This season, I liked it. It started out really good, but now I'm kind of like, this is weird, and where is this going? And I don't know.
I thought it was really weird that the first season has 6 episodes, the second has 7, and the third has 8.
Yeah, that's right. It's getting more each time.
Because I thought it was already going to be done with 6, and I was like, oh, it has 2 more.
Yeah. No, but Jennifer Coolidge was great.
You don't have to watch the other seasons, you said, right? Like
no, not at all.
That's cool. I'll definitely.
Yeah, I mean, there's some connections, but you can kind of connect the dots if you haven't, seen it other seasons.
It's a minor connection, very minor, really. Yeah.
Got it. A said, "That's my theory forever. Or Van will survive and surpass them all in age, and she'll be the last one standing." Yeah,
that would be great.
Live or none of them could live.
She's gonna be in hospice until she's like 103.
Yeah, maybe.
Actually, Van is the most out of all of them. She has morals out of all of them.
Morals, yeah. She doesn't kill it. But yeah, I could see one of them surviving or none of them surviving. Like I could see them all dying and Callie being the only one left at the very end too. Like, so yeah.
Maybe Shauna is the last one left. And then Callie kills her.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
And also Jeff, because it's in the pilot.
I love this show, season 1 now. Binge watch 2 and 3. I'm not sure if they're talking about White Lotus or Yellowjackets.
It's probably White Lotus, I'm assuming. Trey, clarify.
They'll kill so many people that it fuels Van to live forever. That's good. I like that.
Yep.
I don't know. Just all these, so many of them are awful. Like I laugh every time because lately Misty is the one that is being like the morally responsible person. And when Misty's doing the right thing, there's a big problem.
Right.
I'm laughing, but I mean, like the fact that Misty's like, no, don't kill him. You don't need to kill him. Really, Misty? Misty's the one that's totally down with the murder usually. So it's funny.
Right.
Van will be the true antler queen. Maybe. I'm surprised that we haven't. I mean, it's weird because we know that we've had Natalie be Antler Queen, and now Sean is Antler Queen, but we've never actually seen them dress as like fully.
They gotta
as
get that dress from Lottie. Lottie's wearing that dress that goes up on the top
yeah.
part. She's wearing that
Yeah,
dress that
they
fits
do
on the
all
antlers.
share it, so it's kind of
Yeah.
hard to tell. But yes, you know, we got to come in next time. I got to work on. Who was I telling? Was that you, Scarlett? I was telling about the music. Did I tell you, or was I telling somebody else? Maybe
What
I was
about the
telling
music?
Lori. No, I was telling Lori. That's right, because we were talking about AI the other night. That was you I was telling. I think
Yes.
Scarlett might have already left. I was looking
I was
into that.
saving.
No, I know, but we were also going on and on about websites and AI and everything else.
Mhm.
I was looking into that program that Amy had used for her awesome Severance
Oh, yeah.
music.
Right.
And it really works well to make music. Although I want to do what she did and I want to write my own lyrics, but I was thinking it'd be cool. Like I kind of want to write some Yellowjacket lyrics and make like some kind of really cool theme song and then use that to produce it. Because I can't sing. You don't want to hear me sing. Nobody wants to hear me sing.
Everybody
You don't want to
hear
hear
me
me sing either.
Yeah, they don't want to hear me sing. But
I'll
I
just
think,
write a song and sing it.
yeah,
I can
no,
write a
yeah, you
song in
can
like
sing it.
15
Hey,
minutes
yeah,
about
you have your
Yellowjackets.
goat song. But I think it's cool. I mean, I know it's
John
not
Henry.
100% real, but I was just thinking about it. It would be fun. It worked.
So
I was
you
just
would
thinking
play
about it
it.
because I an Antler
You would
Queen.
play it on the live stream. You mean?
Yeah, that's what I meant. Because you
Yeah.
have right. I mean, you know, it's not copyrighted if you make
Right.
it. So,
Right.
but
Yeah, that would be great, Jamie. Yeah.
that would be fun. Misty accidentally sits on her hypodermic needle and dies. That would be hilarious. I would like that. I mean, I don't know that I'd really like it. I don't want Misty to die.
I
but
would
it's
like to see one of her elderly patients stab her.
that would be funny. Revenge. The
That's
one that she stole her
retribution.
puzzle pieces, right? Because she stole her puzzle pieces. Autumn says I could see dark
Svetlana kills her.
yeah, I could see Dark Ties, Antler Queen. You know, I still wonder if it's going to be a guy because I think that would be an interesting twist if it was Travis or I don't know that it could be Kodiak part possibly, but if it was Travis, that would be interesting to me. What if they all go back to the wilderness in the end to see if it's all real and they end up dying in another plane crash? Kind of like I know Scarlett's probably like not Lost, no, like Lost. They end up in a second plane.
Oh no, no.
Yeah, we don't want to.
No. In the words of Tabitha, no.
Yeah, I don't know that would happen.
I was so glad the screeching was an animal noise and not some kind of government plot.
Yeah, I like that it ended up being the frogs. That's weird. Dead or Alive, Lottie is the all-reigning queen of the wilderness. Lottie is the all-reigning queen of insanity. We'll say that. Travis the Antler Queen. Yeah, and that's kind of my point though, because everybody's like, who is it? Who is it? And they're like thinking it's a girl, and I just think it would be funny if it wasn't.
Yeah, agreed.
If they make
either him or Jim McHale.
Yeah, Autumn says if they make Joel McHale the Antler Queen of Dead. To be fair, I don't think the Antler Queen in all those pictures is like tall enough to be him compared to the girls. I'm assuming, isn't he a lot taller than the girls? Maybe not. I'd have to think about it.
Yes, he's pretty tall.
So yeah, I don't think it's Joe McHale.
We were talking about Vanessa, and she said how taller Joe McHale and Nelson Franklin are than her.
Yeah, that's true. I forgot she did say that. I still wonder that we don't really know though, even if they've said they killed him, that he dies, because I keep thinking, I said this before, that you know, if he took somebody else's name, like they implied, I mean, they could have an obituary or whatever saying that person died, and it could totally be whoever the person was he stole their name. Like he could have killed them, or they could have died and he took their backpack, whatever. But if they had it that he was somebody that died in the wilderness, it doesn't mean it was him. He definitely could have survived, which I know would make Scarlett happy. Yes, she wants him to be the lead. She'd be happy with that. I agree. Right, Scarlett? You want Joel to be the lead?
Yes.
Yes,
Mackie. You want me to ring the bell, Mackie?
To be the last man
we need Jason Isaacs to come on the show, and then me and you can battle.
I can ring the bell at 2:00, Mackie. Just say the word.
That reminds me though, because you had mentioned Vanessa. If you guys did miss it, don't forget that there is under our live tab on Sci-Fi Vision the interview with Nia Sandaya, who plays Tina Kila, and with Vanessa Prasad, who plays Teen Jen, that are still available if you missed those interviews. They were both very good interviews. And I was going to say Vanessa stayed really long. I think she would have kept staying if we didn't have to get off to share the.
Yeah, I
to
know. That
share
was a bummer.
The
That was a
network.
bummer
Yeah, I
because
had
she has such
forgotten.
insight. You know, she has
I
such
felt.
insight to everything.
Sorry, wait, what? Say that again.
She has such insight and some really
Oh
good
yeah,
stories.
she does. She definitely does. She had really good stories. I had, I had said she could stay longer, and I completely forgot they needed the channel. I should have said that at the beginning, but I'm like, they're gonna kick us off if we stay here. I just didn't want them to come on and be like, you need to leave. No, I know they wouldn't have done that, but I know they had another they had their own guests coming on their channel, and you don't want another talent to come on and be like, you can't come on because they're still talking to somebody else. So yeah, but that was a really good interview. They were both really good interviews. We need to get Joel. I know usually Justin says you need to have this person, that person on, which we'd love to. We need to get Joel McHale on. That's what we need to do.
Yeah, I love that.
Joel McHale, come on our show. No. Good night, Trace. Yeah.
It might be able to get Nelson Franklin.
These are good people that now that I know who's on it, I need to try to see if we can get them. I mean, Joel McHale, we're clearly not going to get, but maybe the other ones, who knows? It's worth a shot, right? You never know. Yeah, I'm always still trying for people, so you never know. But there's always next season too. Hopefully our show will be a little more established. Maybe by then people will know who we are. We can hope, right? Don't know that it's going to happen, but we can hope. No, hey, you never know. In all honesty, I was shocked with what happened with From, and it just kind of snowballed. So you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Really
so
don't.
let me ask you, what are your predictions for next week's episode? What do you think could happen?
You go first, Scarlet.
What I think will happen? Let me think. Shauna's gonna do something stupid so they all stay. I don't know what that is.
Right.
God knows.
She might
just
kill
be shot with an arrow through
somebody.
the heart. Melissa, I don't know where the eat it thing's gonna come to. Is she still gonna be saying eat it hours later when Alex and Lila come home? I don't know, maybe. If they come home accidentally, is that going to be a ruckus? Do they take it on the road? Because I know there was that scene where Hilary Swank was out on the road and there was an SUV. So are they going to take it on the run?
Yeah, I think so.
Let me see what else. I mean, I guess those are the main 2 points, right?
Yeah, I can say what I'd like to happen. I would like Melissa to get the upper hand and tell Shauna to eat it, but
make her eat it.
Yeah,
no, you eat it.
Road trip. You're right, Autumn. Yeah, they do show her though on the road, so I assume something happens. I agree though. I think that Shauna and the teen Shauna is going to do something stupid or say something that convinces everybody to stay because they're stupid. But and because they're scared. I really wish that. I mean, we know nothing happens to Shauna, so you can't say.
Yeah.
I still wish Natalie would just be like, "No, I'm leaving," and that some of them would take off because we really don't know what happens. But I think it would be really awesome if they took off and some of them got rescued sooner because they didn't listen to Shauna, and then they sent help back. I don't think.
I kind of was waiting for these warring factions they keep advertising in Yellowjackets. Is that going to happen then?
I think probably. I think this is probably going to set that off. I wouldn't be surprised if Natalie wants to leave and Shauna to stop her kills them. And then she's like, I'm not. And Natalie's like, no, I'm not doing this. I'm not into murder. And that's what splits them off. That could happen. Oh, AA.
But Kodiak gets away.
Yeah, Kodiak gets away and has his own spinoff, right?
Yes. Wow.
I just saw a comment in Yellowjackets group that says they are possibly adding a third timeline. Do you guys think that's true? I mean,
1998, sure, yeah. That's their
plan. Yeah, when they're rescued.
Yeah, they're definitely going to have a post-rescue pre-present. We know that, but the question is, how close to what's going on now is it? Like, is it continuous or is there like a time jump? And if there is a time jump,
the way that the episodes are called, the story ends in full circle. I thought they'd be rescued by the end of the season.
It might be. So there might not be 3 consecutive timelines. Although I find it interesting that they had today the whatever you want to call it, flashbacks, flash forward, hallucination, whatever. Yeah. Of Shauna when she worked. I mean, technically that was a little bit of a third timeline, right? Just a little bit.
What was she? But was she really working? It was a dream. She may not really have had a job doing that.
I don't know. I kind of assumed that it was a memory of her working when she had a hallucination, but it wasn't super clear. But I think that if they do show post rescue, I don't know that they're going to continue to show in the wilderness. I mean,
Yeah, I think they will in flashbacks. They will. Yeah.
they might, and if they do, then that would be 3 timelines. I mean,
Mhm.
Yeah,
but we're
that'd be
definitely going
cool.
to see it. It would be cool. But
That'd be
we're
Yeah, I
cool.
think
definitely
that's what they're going to do
post
because
rescue
they're not
timeline.
going to show you everything and then they're rescued. They're still going to hold out on what
Mhm.
the bad thing is that happened, and you'll see that next season probably.
Mhm.
That's true. They could skip a lot of it. I don't know, but I'm excited to see it. I've really gotten into this show. I'm glad you talked me into watching it, Scarlett.
Yeah, me too. I
Yay!
like
That's my
it.
Long
favorite
resisted.
show. You like my
You
favorite
know,
show?
and I admit I had to watch it a second time, and even the second time at the beginning, I was not totally into it.
Mhm.
But by the time I got further, I really liked it. And the thing is it's funny because I ended up liking it because it wasn't as dark as I expected. But now that we're getting into the darker part, I'm still not minding it. So it's
Yeah.
good. It's all good.
It's a good
Now-
mixture of comedy and darkness and everything. It walks a good line.
Yeah,
Did
it's very
you-
campy. It really
Did
is.
you ever watch Evil, Scarlett?
No, I did not. I
Okay.
watched Ash versus Evil Dead.
Okay. Well, if you like dark comedy, you should watch Evil. Granted, the first season of Evil is nothing like the rest of Evil because the first season of Evil is like a drama, supernatural drama. Because I almost thought it was kind of like an X-File type show, except with like religious undertones. But then like season 2, I think it's season 2, whenever it splits off and it went on to Paramount, it became something completely different. And it is crazy, wacky, dark comedy. And it is hilarious at times. I think you would like it. It's a really good show. I'm so sad.
Yeah, I'll look at it.
So you know what I
Paramount,
wanted
might as well
to
look at.
Sorry. No, I was going to say that it, something that we didn't talk about. Shauna said to her, "Are you still in love with me?" She says, "No, I never loved you." But maybe that's not true. Maybe she sent Shauna the tape because she still does have feelings for Shauna, and she wanted to touch base with her in some way.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, because that would make sense why she sent her the tape. And wouldn't it be funny if they start making out? They're on the floor.
Yeah, somebody
She
said
just
that earlier.
bit her,
Yeah.
and they just start making out.
It's like, eat
You know,
it. I'm
I
going to
think
eat
it
it with
depends
you and make out with you while we're
how
eating your flesh.
insane Melissa is. I don't think Melissa's quite as insane as
No,
Shauna.
but maybe that would
I don't know,
turn
they
her
would get
on, though.
something.
But remember, their relationship way back in the
A little on
wilderness,
violence. Yeah.
it might actually bring back those feelings. They might just get into it. You don't know. It's
Oh, yeah.
possible.
I could see that. I don't know that I want to see it, but I could see it.
Yeah, I know.
No, but you're
But
right.
that
they
would
had
be
so
that would
much
be
Alex
a
and
real
Lila come in,
interesting
they're
twist,
like, what
though,
the hell
right?
is
I mean, here
happening?
she just takes a bite out of her arm, and then they start kissing.
It would be. Well, but the thing is it seemed to me definitely in the past that they were both turned on by the violence.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
I could see that. Again, I don't know that I want to, but I could definitely see that. But we do know from the trailer it looks like she's running away, so I don't know. I guess we'll
Taking
find
the
out.
streets.
Yeah, I just think that they get turned on by the violence. Yeah, I do. So
Yeah,
we'll
it's
see.
weird, but
Yeah,
we'll
we'll
find
see.
out.
She likes eating her flesh. She's like, oh, yeah, feed me more. Feed me more on my
Yeah.
arm.
And they do take it out into the road because we did see in the trailer that Hilary Swank was running in the road. So
Yeah, but that's why I said she looks like she's running away from her, but I guess we'll find out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying that they're gonna kiss and they're in romance. No, they may kiss and then Hilary Swank might still hit her and get away from her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She may
Yeah,
just
but yeah,
kiss her to disarm her. Actually,
Yeah, that
she
would
may
be
kiss her
smart
so
on,
that she'll
on her
like
part.
she can overpower her and then she can get away from her.
Yeah. Well, the thing is,
Can I
think
address
Shauna
the
wants her to be in love with her. What, Scarlett?
I wanted to address AAMM's message to me because I got to get Julie to like it. And yes, me and Julie watched the first 2 and the 3rd episodes of Yellowjackets, but she has a problem in it that triggers her, so she won't be watching it. But she said it was really good otherwise. She liked Christina Ricci. She liked Juliette Lewis and all that. So I did try.
Yeah.
But I understand her reasons not.
Yeah, that's okay. Not everybody likes everything anyway.
Well, if you see something that triggers you,
No,
you don't
yeah, I
really
totally
want
get
to, you know.
No,
If
yeah,
it's a certain topic or something, you don't want to, have to deal with that. I mean,
Yeah, yeah, I
I
get
kid
that.
and say she was a cannibal, but that's a joke.
No, I know. That's what I was thinking. I'm like, I don't know. That's funny though, but I'm like, yeah, I know. I thought the same
Oh, I've
thing.
said on a couple lives.
Okay, yes, I don't think Julie's a cannibal, but yeah, no, I
That's a
totally get that.
secret. She doesn't want to watch it because she's
No,
eating
yeah,
people.
no, I totally get that. There's a lot of things I won't watch because I
Yeah.
mean, even
Well, there's
just
some subject
as a
matter I
trailer,
won't
you can
watch.
freak me out.
I
I
just
told you
don't.
I don't watch. I can't watch torture porn. Like if it's too
Yeah.
torture, I just
Mhm.
can't watch it. So everybody
Yeah.
has something different, but it's a good show if you can watch it, if you watch it. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
glad that I gave it a chance because I really didn't think that I would like it, and I kept
Yeah.
going anyway because you said it was so good. I kept going, and I do really like it now. So
And I also agree with AAM's comment. I wonder if Alex is gonna walk in like she's like,
Yeah.
they're eating flesh and making out, and she's like, hey, I forgot something.
What the hell? Yeah. I love the Autumn somewhere Barbara.
I called you a few times. You didn't answer the phone. I was worried.
It's
Yeah,
funny.
it is. It is. Yeah,
But
this
it
show
really
is
would explain
bizarre.
why she sent her the tape,
Mhm.
because there's
Oh,
no
she
other
just wants
reason
to
I
look
can
like-
think of.
It's really confusing if it's not that, or there's something.
Right.
There has to be something great in that note.
Or
Yeah,
it is
exactly.
just that she seriously wanted to drive her crazy and she's lying about it.
Yeah.
I just hope whatever it is, they have a good explanation because it doesn't make tons of sense.
I mean, it's either a revenge storyline. Melissa wants revenge on Shauna, maybe because Shauna's the one who killed Hannah. Who knows?
Mhm.
It could be revenge. She wants to drive her crazy, or she still has feelings for her. I think it's one of the two.
Yeah, because she did say that Jen and Melissa got close to Hannah.
Right.
And if Shauna
Right.
killed Hannah, that would be a really big bone of contention between
Oh
them.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, because I really just can't see her being like, I want to help Shauna too, so I'll send her. Like that just doesn't make sense to me.
No. No.
Like I could see destroying the tape, but sending it to someone else is not getting rid of it. Like she's
No.
saying, it's not.
No,
letting
it's
it-
causing more problems.
I would like to know though, outright if Callie got the note. I know we both, me and Scarlett both disagree with that. I think Callie got the note and she hid it.
That's what
She
I
thinks
think.
She didn't get
Yeah.
it. But if they
I
didn't
agree with
show
you.
her open it and didn't show her pull out a note, it makes me think that I'm like now kind of thinking you might be right. I'd have to go back and rewatch it.
No, but I saw the footage. It's kind of like off camera, like you
Oh, so
see
you don't
her
really
starting
see
to
it.
open the envelope, but you don't see what's inside the envelope.
Okay, well then,
Yeah.
then if it's not clear, then yeah, I don't know. I just kind of thought maybe she was hiding it. Unless maybe she's hiding it for another reason. Like maybe she hid it because she didn't want her mother to get upset. Like she knew it would hurt her, whatever it is, Or maybe it's simply that Melissa said something like she was in love with Shauna and maybe she doesn't want to hurt her father. I mean, could it be something simple like that?
Maybe.
But she told her she wasn't in love with her.
No,
Melissa,
I know.
make up your mind.
I'm just saying maybe she
I
said
hate to
that.
love
Maybe
you,
she had that
Shauna.
opinion. Maybe she just didn't want her father to know that her mother had, was with her. Although to be fair, she knows that her mother had an affair, I think now. Like she knows about Adam, so I don't know where she would hide that necessarily. But yeah, I don't know. But it's interesting to know. Let me ask you, Lori, what do you think about the scratches on Jeff?
The scratches on who?
On Jeff,
Jeff
on his
and-
hand.
Do you
Wait, I
have that
didn't hear
picture? Can you put that picture up?
Yeah, hold on, I think I have to reshare it to get that specific.
Oh, the scratches on Jeff?
Yeah, did you not see them? You must have missed
I
that
didn't
part.
see it, but I read that somebody mentioned it, but I didn't see it.
Yeah, let me find it here. There it is. I gotta unshare the one picture to reshare the other one.
Okay.
Otherwise, we'll be going through 20 different pictures and I'll never find it. Let's see. Open that one and present. Share screen. Here we go. Oops. There we go. Sometimes it looks dark, but see, he has like 3 scratches on his hand.
Hold on. Where? Show me with the mouse. Oh, I see it now.
Yeah, really big on the right on his hand.
Ah.
Yeah. We were debating. I don't know. I question could it be from Lottie, but they don't really look like human fingernail scratches.
Kitty.
But,
It's the
okay,
kitty.
really,
looks like a
really
cat
tiny
scratched him.
fingers. Yeah, it does. They'd have to have really,
I
really
think that
tiny
cat
fingers.
is still running around their house. I don't think they found a home for it.
It's just interesting that they put that in, like, as a little, and that's just really good attention to detail.
Yeah, but
Or
there's something else that I just remembered. Remember, I think it was 2 episodes back, he said that he thought they had bed bugs and he was scratching himself constantly.
yeah,
So he could have been like scratched up from Lottie. And he's trying to cover it by saying, he's got bugs in the bed and he's scratching himself.
maybe. I don't know, but like I said, I would think that scratching, like if it was, but you're saying he was fake scratching himself. So you're saying, okay,
Well, in other words, he may actually have scratches on him and he's
yeah,
trying to say it's from the bed bug
trying to
bites.
cover it up.
That's what I think. Yeah, that's
Maybe that's
possible.
true. But looking at his hand, I don't know. Those do seem really tiny for finger scratches.
They
If you
they
think
do seem
about
like
it,
a cat scratch, but they're too even. They're too
yeah, it
straight.
almost looks like somebody took a fork and scratched it down his
Exactly.
head. Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't know.
maybe somebody attacked him with a fork or something.
Lottie
Yeah,
was doing a ritual of a fork. She
yeah,
lit the candles. She danced with a fork.
yeah.
Now, wait a
Um,
minute. Who's been eating a lot of food lately?
Ty. Ty left a
Yeah,
fork there. Dark Ty. She was part
Dark
of it. She left a
Ty.
fork
maybe he
there.
tried
The
to
fork
kill
claw.
Ted.
Dark Ty
Eddie,
may have attacked
She's been
him.
eating a lot of food.
maybe.
Luxury food, so.
Eddie says all of the Yellowjackets seem to have arrested development, so Melissa sending the tape could make sense. I think it's just Melissa's explanation wasn't good, I think is the problem. It's not necessarily that Melissa couldn't send it, it's just why did she give the explanation she did? I think is the problem we have more than anything, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
I don't mute.
I'm like, wait.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, absolutely.
All I know is that the way they showed that scratch is really extremely obvious. Like they wanted
Yeah.
us to see it, which also makes me think it might just be a red herring too. So
But it does look like a fork.
it does look like a fork, but that may just be
Other
because that's
Ty.
the way they made the makeup too. I mean, it might just be they didn't do whoever did the makeup didn't think
They
it
did
through.
a lousy job.
Yeah, it's very possible. But yeah, it could be cat scratches too. I don't know. I just noticed it and I'm like,
If
it
you're
seems like
going to
there's
scratch
something wrong.
somebody who's trying to harm you, first of all, your fingers are not going to be together. Your
Right.
fingers are going to be
Really
very
long.
wide apart. So the scratch marks are going to be at least an inch or more apart. They're not going
Yeah.
to be right next to each other like that.
No, you're right. And they'd also be longer too. Like they wouldn't make like little teeny tiny.
Right.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
but that does look like a fork. It really does. And I'm wondering if it's Dark Ty.
yeah,
Just
maybe.
trying to
That
get
would
a
be
taste. Trying to get a taste of
that'd be
Jeff.
hilarious. Yeah, I don't know. It just seemed like it was very obviously they were trying to point it out as a clue, which, like I said, might just be they wanted you to think it was something it wasn't too.
Yeah, it could be a red herring.
But I don't know.
So,
I
but
just thought
what about the bed bug thing? He said, I'm scratching. I think there's bed bugs. Look. And she says, I don't think it's that. I just think you're stressed out about mom. That's what Kelly says. But
yeah, I think it might have been
are there scratches or not? Well, what's going on with him? Right.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, it could just be like psychosomatic and he was
Mhm.
imagining bed bugs. I don't know.
Like
Yeah.
high anxiety.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
that could happen. There actually have been people that they imagine that they're being bitten by bed bugs and they aren't, but
yeah,
they
yeah.
really believe they are, or they have a terrible fear of it. Yeah.
Yeah, you can manifest
Oh yeah.
definitely. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, that is supposed to be a dirty hotel, though. I guess they could have bed bugs, but it doesn't look that run down. They were talking about how run down the hotel is. It doesn't look that
Listen,
bad.
the Waldorf Astoria in New York City had bed bugs. The Plaza Hotel had bed
That's a good
bugs.
point. That's a good
You
point.
can
There
get
was
bed bugs
like
anywhere.
there was like a big thing about bed bugs for a while. They were like
Oh
a
yeah.
lot.
Yeah. It has nothing to do with cleanliness. Nothing.
Yeah.
And a lot of hotels do have them, but who knows in Jeff's case? It could be just purely psychological for him.
Yeah.
It could be his stress, like what Callie was saying. He's really stressed out about Shauna, and it could
Yeah.
have manifested that way.
I,
I
I
don't
think
know.
it's I think it's interesting though that now they're saying that nothing really happened to her and nobody was really after her. I was like, whenever Melissa said it, I was thinking that made a lot of sense and could be the case. But the fact that everybody now thinks that it isn't real.
Right.
Makes me think it is.
Yeah,
Just because
exactly.
like they all because even like Misty and Ty and that before were saying maybe it wasn't real.
Right.
Until the whole tape thing, but we don't know. Yeah.
Right. They want you all to think that Shauna is crazy. Okay. And if it's true that she is making this up, then there's no surprise in that.
Yeah.
What kind of writing is that? I think they're doing it to throw us off because I think I think it's true. I think somebody is trying to maybe not kill her, but drive her crazy. And it
Yeah.
could be Melissa.
Or
It
like I
could
said
be.
before, maybe both things are true. Maybe like part of it, like Scarlett said, whatever, two truths and a lie. Like maybe some of it happened and some of it didn't, or maybe she was really stalking her, but she didn't try to kill her. I don't know, but it's definitely makes me wonder since they're all saying it's fake.
Who knows?
I hope it's Coach Ben's go.
I still think
Yes.
Walter may be doing that. Walter. I
Yeah,
think Walter is trying to make Shauna nuts. That's what I think.
I want to know. The main thing I want to know is about what he said about the DNA, if it's true or not. Because I said before, the only reason I think it's Callie is because I think that if it really did come up, Shauna had a DNA match. If that's true, I think that it's Callie and it came up as a match because they're related. And I
Yeah.
think it's like they're trying to confuse you. That's why I thought maybe it was Callie. But I still also think there's a huge possibility that Walter just made that shit up. So
Yeah. But
I
what's
don't know.
interesting now that you just said that, the next episode, the finale, maybe it's true that
There's two
next week
right?
is the finale.
It's
No, next week.
penultimate next week, Lori.
Oh,
For the finale.
penultimate is next week. Okay,
Yeah,
well,
they
even
always have
next
really
week.
good penultimate episodes, so it
Oh
might be a
yeah,
wild ride.
yeah, they do. So maybe Callie did kill Lottie, even if it was an accident, and Shauna finds out. Shauna's going to take the rep, and Shauna will go to jail for it. That's what I think may happen.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe that's the way she finally makes amends, but I don't know. I don't know that I can see that like if it was real life maybe, but like with this show, I don't know that it makes
Shauna's
sense.
not going to let Callie go to jail. She'll take the rep
Maybe. Or
because
they
she'll
find a way
feel
to cover it up.
responsible for the way Callie turned out. Yeah,
Mm.
she'll take the rep. I'm not saying, and she may not end up in jail. I mean, they may say, "Oh, Lottie killed herself," and they may have other evidence that
Yeah.
comes in.
Yeah, I don't
But
know.
I think Shauna will step up and say that she did it. I do, and that's a way of redeeming her character. Because
Yeah.
right now, people don't like Shauna. No, a lot
Yeah,
of
nobody
people,
likes Shauna.
they don't like the adult
I
Shauna.
love
They don't
Shauna.
like the young Shauna.
Autumn
So
says
if
I
she,
don't
Love all the
if
Shauna.
she,
Shaunas.
right, so if she can redeem
Shauna love.
herself in some way by taking the rap for Callie, she's redeeming her character slightly, a little bit.
Slightly.
So
But Autumn's got a point though too. Is she selfish and selfless enough for that? I don't know.
I should say that Shauna's the worst, but I love her for being the worst.
Yeah, I agree. You can like to hate Shauna, love to hate Shauna, whatever. I'm just I have loved Melanie Linsky
oh yeah,
in the whole thing, and I thought she's hilarious in it, and I've liked her adult character, the adult version of her. But I don't know. After this one, I'm just like, this girl is so nuts. Like I'm just kind of over it at this point. Now I'm like, even that Shauna is the worst. So I don't know.
exactly. So I think that they have to redeem her in some way because she's not going to leave the show. So by doing this, she's sacrificing herself to save Callie. She couldn't save her child in the wilderness. Her child was stillborn. She has a chance now to save her daughter. She's going to do it. And that's going to redeem her.
Yeah, maybe.
Mhm.
I don't know. We'll have to see. You know what I find interesting? I just noticed they have the description up for the episodes for episode 10, but not episode 9. But the odd thing is, and we've said this before, people can edit Internet Movie Database. It isn't always totally, legit. But I wonder because I question that if that's even a real description. It kind of sounds like somebody wrote it that isn't like it doesn't seem like an official episode description. You don't want to know anything that it says there, right, Scarlett? You don't want any potential spoilers?
No,
or-
I'll go away if you guys want to talk
Okay,
about it.
no, it
Well,
doesn't
there's-
really. I won't read it, but it really doesn't say a whole lot of anything. It just doesn't sound. I don't know. Just to me, doesn't sound legit. But maybe it's just me. AA says Walter's very smart. I think he would say that the DNA is similar to Shauna's, not that it's her DNA, because her and Callie are two different people related. Yes, but different. I think it would depend what test he ran. I'm just thinking, like in a lot of other shows you see where the DNA, like they have a PCR test or whatever, and it matches because of the genetic part of it. So I don't know. I just thought that because that seemed like a twist that would make sense.
Mm-hmm.
But it really would depend how much DNA was there and what kind of test was run. So same thing they do when they're looking for serial killers. They use ancestor DNA to find a common relative. Shauna's a common relative if Callie is guilty. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just that's my thing that I came up with. I don't know that that's necessarily the case, but that was why I thought it could be Callie. Not that I otherwise really think it makes sense to be Callie. I just thought maybe with what Walter said. Yeah. It's too bad it can't be like her son that like was reincarnated or something. Or that's like a ghost or something. Yeah. Don't know. Lottie was doing Callie's hair, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was.
Yes, she was. I'm not sure that unless like she moved or something and she scratched her head, like she jerked when she did her hair. We have Shauna's relatives we don't know about. It's possible. Yeah, I don't know. But
yeah, we never really met her parents. We don't know how her home life was.
yeah,
That's
we
right.
don't know a lot of their backstory. I just feel like a lot of it we're never going to know. Let's see. Shauna's family's like this big secret we don't know, her parents or her siblings, if she has any. I just don't think we're ever going to find out because I don't think we have enough, like, there's not enough time that they're going to delve into all the different characters' family life. I mean, they might Shauna's like the main, one of the main characters they could, but yeah, I would assume though that Shauna didn't have like a horrible childhood. I mean, she's messed up, but like she didn't seem like she was necessarily from like a super broken home or something. Not that we really seen a lot of it to know, I guess, beforehand, but I didn't get that opinion anyway. But I don't know if that's really a good way to judge it. I don't know. Don't know.
Well, I think she was definitely messed up before the plane crash.
Oh, she was definitely messed up.
Yeah.
I don't know.
She has a certain disposition
Yeah.
that
That's a fair
is
way
a
to-
dark side to her.
His mom or dad is probably off the wall if it runs in the family. Could be. I don't know. But I would like to see more about their families. I just don't know that they're gonna have time to delve into that much at this point.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I more wish they'd give us an episode about Cabin Daddy, but I think everybody wants that.
About who?
About Cabin Daddy.
Oh, Cabin Daddy. Yeah.
Yeah. Autumn says Shauna's parents are divorced. I think that's all we know. Were they? I don't even remember that. Maybe we'll see it when they get rescued.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
We
Yeah.
could. Yeah.
That would be good.
Cabin Daddy or Cabin Daughter or Cabin somebody, right?
Yes. When they're rescued, the family will come to meet them and we'll get to see her family. Yes.
Please give us Cabin Daddy. I want William Vaughn to come back actually because I like the original Cabin Daddy. What I feel is the Cabin Daddy in Jackie's vision when she's dying, but I think it's Sean's dream.
Yeah.
Wait, who did she see? Say that again.
From where?
No, you said that she saw.
I love Cabin Daddy. I wish that William Vaughn would come back because he played the original, what we thought was the Hunter Cabin Daddy, in either Jackie's death dream or Shauna's dream about death, Jackie dying.
Okay, I didn't remember her seeing somebody. That's what I'm trying to.
You don't remember that? That's still like a poignant part of the first season.
When she was freezing to death?
Yeah, when he's like, "We've been waiting for you." You don't remember that? How creepy
I thought that
was?
was supposed to be. I thought that was supposed to be like that other coach or whatever. I can't remember.
No, it's the hunter
Okay.
guy, the cabin
Okay.
daddy. They called him
Okay.
cabin daddy. They called William Vaughn cabin daddy.
Okay.
That's where our cabin daddy comes from.
Yeah, I'd have to rewatch it again.
Because
I didn't know how to find.
William Vaughn was on, I think, Cyborg Queen Media, and he said they called him cabin daddy, and it stuck. That's where cabin daddy comes from.
What you mean the fans called him cabin daddy?
No, this individual interview they did with William Vaughn, and then they called him cabin daddy, and it stuck. And
Oh,
the
they
fan
did on the
community came
show.
from there.
Okay, I see. I
Yeah.
see. Let's see. I want to see if Cabin Daddy even had a daughter. I hope he did. AA says, but I think if there were other people out there with the cabin, i.e., Cabin Daddy's daughter, we would have seen signs of her. And Autumn says, I originally thought Cabin Daddy's daughter was somewhere out in the woods and she was Hobby's friend and also Pit Girl, but I'm losing faith in that theory. I'm starting to think Hannah might be Pit Girl. But I don't know.
I'm starting to lose my faith that Cabin Daddy's episode's actually going to happen.
Yeah, I don't know. Unless they actually, you said they filmed it, but they lost it, right? Isn't that what you said, or no? Was that something else?
That was parts of episode 6.
That was parts of episode 6. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, if they didn't film it, it could go either way. But if they've already filmed it, then it might sometimes see the light of day. It kind of depends. Yeah. I don't know, but I wonder if Hannah could be Pit Girl, but I don't know. Is Hannah taller than the girls? She's probably about their size.
I don't know.
Older,
There was
right?
someone that had the prosthetic of Pit Girl when she's in the pit with spikes going through her face and comparing it to Ashley Sutton's profile, and it's kind of close.
Well, but don't forget, we know now that the person that played Pit Girl in the pilot was just like a double. And not
Yeah,
any
but
of the actors.
they have a prosthetic, and they were like, we're gonna get an actress that looks like this prosthetic aesthetically.
Maybe, but when you say that though, I also think about the fact that like they changed some of the actresses like Jen and Akila and that, which makes me just think the only thing we really know about Pit Girl is that she had long dark hair. And that she was wearing a nightgown. Like I don't think they used them at all. I think that was something they.
Yeah, because that was shot in the pilot.
Yeah, I know that. I know it's a
when
stunt
they did the
person.
pilot. Yeah,
It's a stunt person or prosthetic. I understand that. I'm just
Well, you're
saying
saying
they
you
picked
think they'll
somebody
try to
that
match
looked
it.
like the stunt person and the prosthetic, which would be
Okay.
Ashley Sutton.
Okay.
I gotta go back to eating. I just gotta eat. Just eat it. Eat these berries. It's berries, not human flesh.
No, I get what you're saying now. I didn't know that's what you meant. I'm just saying to me, like, as long as it's somebody that's got dark hair, like that's close enough. So I don't know. Like, I feel like they probably, whoever it was, like they may not have auditioned that person till way later.
Yeah.
I think they
But plus, Ashley Sutton has that cute little run, though, that Pit Girl doesn't have. That kind of cute little comedy run.
Yeah, maybe. Well, AA says she runs like Hannah, so I don't know, but the build's a little different. I don't know. I'm just going to go by whoever the person was in the pilot is not the same actress, so I'm not going to try to compare them other than
that's
their
right.
overall, like I said, their hair color. I also
I just hope it isn't a bait and switch.
Yeah.
Like it's
But
something
also,
in the present, because you know how they go flashback to people as a teenager, that flash of Misty taking off her mask is just adult Misty thinking herself as teen Misty, and it's taking place in the modern time, the modern timeline.
Yeah,
that'd be disappointing.
I mean, I'm trying to remember. Did it show specifically like certain people chasing after her after Pit Girl?
The only one they showed was Misty. Misty was the only actress that was there. Sammy was the only person there, and everybody else was stunt doubles.
Okay, so it wasn't possible that like this was something that happened in the wilderness before they ever got there, and that like they could flash back to something that happened like 20 years before or something.
Or it could be in the present, and she could be having the thing that they show when the adults like regress into teenagers.
Yeah, no, it could be. But what I was going to say is, we do think that the Pit Girl though is different than the one that they showed draining of blood in the beginning? Because I know
the showrunners say it's the same person.
I agree with Susie though. If she fell in the pit, why didn't she have holes in her when they hung her
that's
up?
a continuity area. If you read the pilot script, it'll explain it. And I agree
or
with
they'll
that.
refilm it when they do it. too, is the other thing.
Because it's supposed to be the same person in the script. It says the girl. It's like they give everybody roles. Like there's a shaman and everything else, and then I can't remember what they call her. She's the runner, I think. And they say the runner falls into the pit. Then the runner is strung up. So it's the same person, same character.
Yeah, well, but they might also refilm the whole thing too once they put the actual actress in it, and they might fix that problem because people complain too. You know what I mean? Like they might add holes this time. But I don't know. Let's see. I'm not sure what this was in reference to. He was definitely hallucinating like Coach when Marty was down there. I'm not sure which person you're talking about. The show is looking like a
Javi.
case of masses here at Javi. Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I think a lot of that's from the gas. I mean, that's why sometimes you can't even necessarily believe what you see, because it could be that they're imagining things or hallucinating for whatever reason. Yeah. Well, is that, do we have anything else? I was gonna say it's already 2:30. If you guys don't have anything else.
I'm pretty good.
Yeah, I think we've kind of covered everything. I don't know. I didn't intend to stay so long because I haven't been feeling good, and I stayed a lot longer than I intended. So, but I think that's about it, unless either of you have anything else to add, and nobody else in the chat has had anything. So I guess that's about it. But thank you everybody for coming. Check out Scarlet's show tomorrow at Julie B's, and
So Lori will also be on.
that Lori will
We're all
also be
family
on
here.
yeah. Check out their Severance show tomorrow, and then come back Tuesday for our Roundup show. Like I said, we have Wheel of Time, Reacher, 9 Bodies in a Mexican Morgue, and Daredevil Born Again. Thanks, AA. So yeah, come back for that, and then our watch parties. And if you haven't, make sure that you join our Discord, which the link is still pinned in the chat. Please, take time, like, subscribe, and please also comment on the videos outside the chat, because it does help the algorithm. And check scifivision.com for updates on interviews and all that good stuff, because I am trying to catch up, but there's a lot of stuff coming that's outside of these shows. A lot of really good interviews, and a really big thing that's coming that I can't talk about yet, but that's coming soon. So just stay tuned, and you can always go to Discord where we update on everything. You can always find information there or on SciFi Vision social media. All right. Good night, guys. Have a good night.
Good night, Jamie. Good night, Scarlet. Good night, everybody. See you,
You guys-
tomorrow. Julie
Yep.
B's.
You guys can eat it. Eat it. Just eat it.
Eat it. Oh, it's so good.